This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian. Mission 250.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we are watching every movie on the top 250 movies of all time list, according to IMDb. You can go to our website, mission250filmcast.com, where we have our list frozen, and you can check out what's coming up next in all of our older episodes. I'm one of your hosts, Denny, and joining me are
John
and TC.
And this week, we have a very special guest.
Sana? Anyone?
Hello?
I'm supposed to introduce myself?
Yes.
There we go.
Hello.
We're all very good at this, as you can tell. It's a good start.
Yeah, we're smooth.
Yeah, and so this week we're watching number 165, which is the 1982 movie The Thing, directed by John Carpenter. A synopsis is, a crew in Antarctica finds a neighboring camp destroyed and its crew dead. Whatever killed them is nowhere to be found unless it's hidden in plain sight. TC,
Dun.
do you want to describe what we do on this podcast each week?
John, do you want to describe what we do on this podcast each
Sana, would you like to describe what?
No, it's fine.
I can do it.
Yeah,
You
go
do
for it, John. Go for it. You do it. I did it last time.
So, some time ago, which we still haven't. I don't think we've ever firmly established that lately. Like how long, when it was exactly.
In between 1 and 2 years ago.
Yes, there.
Yeah.
We decided as an excuse to hang out once a week, we would start watching the top 250 films as rated by IMDb users of all time. That mangled sentence is going to be hard to interpret.
Yeah.
So there were these users of IMDb and they rated films, and these are the top 250 of those films that they rated according to them. There. That's, yeah.
And we used to think that there was some
yeah.
merit in that rating system, but, you know.
But then we realized there wasn't.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's turned into a lot of fun. So each week we watch a movie, and then we all discuss it. And then Denny has some facts and trivia, and that's about it. And sometimes we get to have special guests like Sana here.
We do.
That's right.
And Sana, to start, would you want to kind of describe your horror fanness?
Yeah,
That's right.
Said you watch horror films to relax.
See, I
This
told you it
is
would come
true.
up. I told you it would come up.
Kind of. So yeah, I do love the genre. And I like the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. And basically my ideal night after I come home from work is to drink a glass of wine and watch a trashy horror movie.
Nothing wrong with that.
My favorites in the subgenres end up being like the whodunit series, which end up being like those stories of like something died and like what happened is terrorizing everybody, or the who's gonna get it. So things like
Who's going to get it?
Like this one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like this one. That's right. That's this one. That's this one to a T.
yeah, so it's like the cabin in the woods or that. Anyways, things like that.
That kind of combination of mystery with the horror kind of, or the sort of like murder mystery kind of thing, kind of a genre as well.
The relaxing thing to do.
Who relaxes watching horror?
Yeah, right? What's
I don't-
soothing about death and dismemberment?
Like you're talking to someone like John who covers his eyes
he's
when
dead. Yeah,
Aw, that's cute.
yeah, cover his eyes. There's blood coming.
Well, I mean, there's the genre of what's it called? Torture porn, which is not my favorite. That's where your Saw series comes in. But
I don't
know.
like those ones.
I do like the monster ones. I do like the ghost stories. Those kind of
I'm
things.
just trying to imagine like in a Bay Area sort of meditation retreat, where go to your happy place.
And she's thinking about like horror, murder,
Right.
police stories.
Well, while I was looking
Limbs
this up-
everywhere. The blood is pooling. Or no, it's splattering. It's
and breathe
splattering.
out.
Well, funny enough, the people who actually live at the post, Outpost 51,
Is that what it is?
something like that.
No, I don't know.
That's right. You're right. Yeah.
Apparently every year people flock there to watch all three of these
Oh.
things. So they watch the Thing from John Carpenter, the prequel, that's the newer one, and then there was one called The Thing from Outer Space or something like that.
The original movie from the book was like done and went a while even further back.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, let's be honest. Denny had to tell me which one to watch to make sure.
I was
didn't
worried
screw
because
it up.
I
He
was
was
like,
we did
TC.
double check. Yeah.
Don't.
You were like, the trailer looks really good, and I Googled it, and like the new one pops up. I'm like, oh shit, TC's going to watch
she's
the
gonna
new
watch
one.
new one.
That's not good.
No. I was
Point
fine.
being, I'm not the only one. People flock to Antarctica to do this shit.
I didn't know there was an actual Station 51 or no. Is that
Outpost 51, I
this was
think.
filmed in Alaska, not necessarily the actual.
Oh, well,
actual location,
you know.
right? But
That's because, what are you going to do?
It was filmed in
My
British Columbia.
imagination ran
Columbia,
wild with me. Sure, we'll
didn't
go
have
with
the
that.
budget.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyways, that's pretty interesting.
So where does
Yeah.
this one fit? Is this one relaxing?
In a sense, yes, because I've probably watched it 5 or 6 times.
Nice.
Jesus, really?
I mean, it's relaxing the fact that I know it, but I do have my like, oh shit moments where I'm like, oh shit, that's right, that happened.
that
Oh
happened.
shit, oh they went there. So
Those are
I
good
like.
moments.
So my favorite part of the movie, obviously, for anyone who's a fan of this movie, is the special effects. Like it just blows my mind how these things are kind of put together.
Mhm.
As well as that, like every time I watch it, there's a new detail that pops up, and you're like, "Oh my god, I did not notice that the first time." And so, with this movie, when I first watched it in my relaxing Sunday afternoon,
We got the cats. We got the TV. Hey, we got horror. We're good.
I initially was trying to scope it so I could watch it later on in the night. So I was just watching the first 5 minutes, and I was hooked. So like, I just kept watching it.
Doesn't mess
And-
around at the beginning.
No, it gets right into it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And so, I forget where we're going with this.
It's all right. No, this is nowhere we have to go with it. I mean,
Fuzzy feelings, horror movies, good stuff.
Yeah.
Big
I mean,
story.
it's all happy
the
times.
so what are those things? Is it animatronics? Is that what they call it?
It's not animatronics.
What is it?
Muppets.
Benny, give me some trivia.
Muppets.
No,
Muppets?
Muppets.
Bloody Muppets. Bluppets.
Oh God.
That sounds
Yeah,
terrible.
how did they do this? I had no idea. I didn't look it up. I mean, I didn't care enough to look it up.
It's
Obviously,
all
but,
like people are underneath most of the things, moving them around.
Oh, really?
So there's like
it's a lot of,
mechanical
like-
arms, and like people have
Right.
like one, the dog head is on a stick, like, and all the arms are on other sticks, and there's people underneath the ground moving them around at different times.
And they're just
Wow.
like picture a weird sound and go with it. And
Like
that's
the last thing was 50 people operating that thing.
it. Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that. That makes it even more cool, I guess.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool images if you it's kind of hard to find actually, but you can find like cutaways of the designs of how they would do these things.
Oh, you got to put those. You got to do some tweets with those.
Yeah,
then.
they
that
look-
would
yeah,
make some
cool.
good tweets.
All these people in
So-
cramped little spaces under the ground, bent over and like moving crap over their heads.
Is that how they made the noise too? Because they all sit there and moan at the
Yeah.
same time. Or something?
I could totally see that, though.
Like,
I
all right,
mean-
Jeff.
Yeah, all right, John. That wasn't a good one. Nope, you got to be a little higher in pitch this time. Yeah. So Sana, what was your most scary moment of this?
It's funny you should ask. I have 3 scenes that I like the most
Oh,
out of
well
this.
done.
Ready?
Ooh.
Yeah, she has notes. She's coming more prepared than I am.
So my favorite scene is the one where the guy is using the defibrillator on the guy's chest.
Oh God!
And it pops
cups
right
out
Oh,
and
it
into
just
eats
it.
pops
him.
right over
Oh,
and eats
yeah.
him, chomps him.
It's gnarly. Yeah.
I even jumped, and I've watched this movie a bunch of times.
What
Yeah.
is going on there? It happens so fast. Is it like an infinite void back there, or is it like to his spine?
I thought it was just chompy mouth. I thought it was just a big old mouth
Just
opened up there.
Where'd all of his
for the
stomach
purpose of
stuff go?
chomping.
But where's the mouth come from, and why is it?
Well, you see, Denny, when the cells reorganize, that's a horror movie.
How do you make a belly get teeth, John? I want to know.
I want to know. Right. You have to know this
Dude,
as a
the
doctor.
belly
You must
ate
know.
him. It's already kind of a moot point as far as trying to get explanation there.
The part that scared me was like when dude had the flamethrower and he froze. Like I knew something was coming and I still jumped when it,
Bro.
like the thing wrapped around his neck. It was like
Yeah,
such an
yeah.
like an awkward cut. I was like, oh shit!
What part is that?
When they're like, it's Kurt. Is it Kurt Russell? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. His
McCready.
flamethrower won't work. And
Oh,
the other
like
guy's
the
sitting
test
there and he like, and he's like, fucking hit him. And then he just doesn't do it. He freezes.
Yeah.
And then it cuts into it like the tentacle on his neck.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why.
Wait,
but
was that a
I knew it
tentacle?
was
I thought
coming.
it like bit his head, didn't it?
Oh, I don't know. Did it?
Well,
maybe
there was a-
I
there was
pulled
a
a
whole
John.
sequence.
Maybe I shut my eyes.
Did
Was
you?
kinda
Did
scared.
you, John?
Oh, wait.
Holy shit.
No, that was a good one too. Actually, that was my second favorite scene where
Oh,
the
is
guys
it?
are all tied up on the bench
Oh yeah.
and one of them starts turning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why did they
Yep.
think that was a good idea?
It was a
Tying
fucking
each other
awesome
up?
idea.
They should tie them up separately, not together.
Yeah, not together. And like, I don't know. That was, yeah. There was a lot of dumb
But it
parts.
created
It
a
doesn't
lot
matter.
of chaos.
'Cause it's
Yeah.
Like that sort of really
tell.
added the scene.
Want more dumb parts? Come on.
No. I mean, I was
Oh,
thinking this
if
was a
you
lot
want to
of
get
bad
into it,
dialogue.
I will get into it later.
Oh,
Yeah,
let's
let's
go.
do it.
We're gonna
Let's
save it
do
though. Let's stay. And I'm not gonna get negative either because I fucking love this movie. But this movie could easily, if you didn't fall in love with all the things going on in it, you could find
Oh, it
parts
could
that are
be
really
awful.
bad.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but as a genre, horror isn't necessarily supposed to be the epitome of like good theater or anything. Like
I think it's supposed to
is-
make sense a little bit.
Sometimes.
Maybe.
No, no.
Nah,
No,
Susanna
that's
likes
fine.
these really shitty.
No, I
horror
agree with that
movies,
point of
too.
view.
I think if you just like enjoy the ride of this one, that's what makes it the most fun. It's you don't want to necessarily take it too seriously.
Yeah. But
At least
if
that's
you
my
did,
point of
then
view, yeah.
you might screw yourself enjoying it.
Yeah. I mean, you could. Oh, come on! He's got a computer that's like designed to predict like alien life.
Yeah,
form
I
growth,
love
and it's
that.
gonna
That's
tell
all
you,
it's
like, the
supposed to do,
probability
too.
of-
I love
That's
that. It was
that's
like,
my
this is
number
its
one
one
problem,
job.
John.
Is that, I
Yeah.
thought that was hilarious.
That was
It's like,
it was
yep.
kind of funny. You have like the image
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
the cells moving and eating the other ones. You're like,
Yeah.
who the hell? What is this? Is this a camera?
And
Or is this the camera
like-
translating the cells it's watching into computer graphics? What are we watching right here?
I don't know.
It's
I just
in,
think it's
like-
great that he had a thing detector, thing predictor. Just to be like, yep, probability of total annihilation
Yeah.
is 90
75%.
47,000
whatever,
hours.
yeah.
Holy shit! This is a good computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing we
State
had
of the art.
this because it turned
Denny,
out
did
to
you
be
get a
handy.
little upset when he was smashing all the audio equipment? Because I did.
No, because you could tell it was empty. You could tell it wasn't actual stuff.
Well, I couldn't.
Oh no! It was mostly. It looked like radio receiving stuff, didn't it? Like
Yeah, it
the
did.
data
I know.
boards and whatever.
It was like, no one's gonna be able to put those back together.
I did
Those
think
are
it was
done.
funny how many axes were in this movie. Like he had an axe in that scene, but then they go to where someone killed the dogs, and then there's another axe in the dog's head.
Oh,
There's like
how many
15
axes they got
axes
to
in this
give?
movie.
They've got a lot to
I don't know,
give.
maybe that's like a multi-purpose thing you got everywhere, break through the ice.
What are you
Who
doing
knows
up
when
in the? You
you're
have no
gonna need
trees up there. Why are there so many axes?
You got ice,
Fair
man. You got
point.
ice, you gotta break through.
What? Why are there so many
Should be more
axes?
shovels,
you
right?
break through the ice with an axe. That's what you do. You got your door jams with ice. You go get the axe. You break the ice with the axe.
I don't know about
Happens
that.
all
You
the time.
smash the door. Yeah, it seems like a bad idea.
I don't know.
When the ice gets in the door, you get the flamethrower, John. Come on.
So,
well,
do you
yeah.
guys want to own a flamethrower as much as I do after watching
I'm
this
in
one?
the bathroom here.
I definitely want a
Gotta
flamethrower.
get the flamethrower. Door's jammed.
TC's trying to express his love for flamethrowers.
Yeah, I want a flamethrower. A flamethrower? A flam?
I heard you say it correctly the first two times, TC. It's okay.
Yeah. I don't know, son. You can't say it. I don't think we should give you a flame.
No, Dad, that doesn't make sense. There's living things.
You can only own the weapons you can speak. That's the rules.
Like
All right,
axe.
Yeah.
You can have the axe.
All right, we'll give you another axe. son.
Go
We'll
on.
give you
Your
another
brother's in the
axe.
bathroom. He locked the door. Go have some fun.
Looks at a baker's dozen of axes. They didn't have to ask why they had so
Anyways.
many axes. What was number 3, Sana?
I liked the ending, and I know it was
Yeah.
tested poorly or like when it released, it was like really not appealing
Like the
to
very
audiences.
ending?
The ending.
Yeah, where it's like we're just gonna sit
around.
around and wait to see what
And get
happens.
Oh, yeah.
too and drink.
I loved that ending. Like I just thought,
I thought I missed the ending. I had to rewind it again. I'm like, oh, that's really it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah, and then the music just outplays.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great.
Why don't we
Good-
just sit
I really
here
dug
and
it.
wait a
Edgy
while,
music.
see what happens?
Yeah.
That's the line.
Fire's gonna burn out eventually.
So TC, before we get into like theories in the movie and stuff, this is the first time you've seen it?
This is the first time I've seen it.
What
Surprisingly,
Did you think?
I liked it quite a bit.
Go
I
on.
don't usually like this kind of shit, as you all know.
You don't like horror?
I don't know. I mean, I do. I don't dislike it, but this was cheesy horror, and it was good. It was real good. I wasn't anticipating liking it as much as I did, but even with the shitty dialogue and like dumb moments, it was still like pretty awesome. I don't know why. I don't. The only thing I didn't like about the whole movie is when the fucking thing turns into a spider. I hate spiders.
Oh,
Well, that's why it's part of
I fucking
horror
hate
because
that
people
shit.
are like
I hate
spiders.
that shit. I hate it. I hate it. I was like, nope.
Was that
fucking
not
kill that thing
was that the
immediately.
scariest part for you? The spider head thing?
I don't know. Anytime that thing fucking moved, I was scared.
Nice.
Yeah. Did its job.
That's awesome.
I definitely had fun with this one.
You get nightmares? To give you nightmares?
No, I don't know. I mean, it might have given me nightmares, but not about the thing.
The spider? Just like general
Yeah.
dread nightmares?
Just like general dread. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh yeah. That's kind.
Well, it did its job then.
It did. It did
Yeah.
its job well.
The whole
I never
want
want to go live in a fucking middle of nowhere outpost. I'll tell you that much. Skip that. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have these issues.
Did you put hands over your eyes?
Hands over my eyes, not so much, but definitely jumped.
Oh.
Sana, do you get scared by horror movies at all?
All the time.
All the time.
Part of the fun. I mean, people do roller coasters, don't they? So it's exactly the same thing for me. So
Yeah.
it just kind of like, it's part of the thrill. I just don't like to have my heart jump into my throat every time.
Yeah. John, did you think this movie was scary?
Not really scary. I don't think. I think it was scary when I first watched it a long time ago. It's just more like and then
Yeah.
it's
shock.
just
There's a lot of shock involved.
yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
When as far as that goes, that scene, the blood testing scene, where everything just goes all to hell. That's great, and it just keeps sort of escalating, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And you got the guys tied up together yelling, "Get us out of here!" And the dude's head gets eaten, and it just like keeps escalating. It's really impressive. So that's fun. It would have been kind of fun to see that in a theater, to get that whole audience reaction moment of everybody going, "Oh God!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of the
it's-
floor coming up at the end there when he's trying to blow the place up?
Tremors 4. That's what I thought. Where's Kevin Bacon?
Wait,
That was impressive, though.
man, I
liked
didn't even
it.
think about that.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed by the in Beast. I think they'd run out of money or something, but the
No,
very
they actually
in Beast
doubled
was-
down on that one.
Really?
Yeah,
because
'cause-
it didn't seem like, compared to the other scenes of the Beast interaction, that one, it just sort of like sat there and kind of.
So what actually happened,
made
John,
noises.
is they built that character around to stop motion. They gave a whole chunk of budget to create a stop motion character, and they finished that. But then John Carpenter was like, "No, this looks bad. Get rid of that. Make a different one."
Damn.
So they had to spend money they didn't have on what you saw, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
It
they
doesn't
screwed up. They didn't. They tried something and it failed, and they spent most of the money on that.
Yes.
Well, it kept happening. So there were a bunch of scenes that were redone. So the one that the spider head, that
Oh,
one
yeah?
failed initially.
Oh
'cause-
shit!
I forget. Yeah, John Carpenter basically said that it looked like a Vegas fountain when the guy's chest opened. And it just
That's
squirted
awesome.
up a
What a
bunch of
great
shit in the
way to
air.
show.
They're like, nah, it's too clean, like in terms
It's too
of
pretty, man. That's like-
So they had to redo it and basically took another day to put that whole thing together.
Wow. And by then they're already spent through money, and they're
you
trying
got to go clean the blood off the walls and everything. God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing about practical effects that CG effects will never be able to capture. It's like practical effects, they're kind of timeless because they're real. Versus CG, you're like, make it pinker. Make it squirt a little bit more.
It doesn't look natural.
But they don't. So that was the other thing. The criticism I have, the second one or the
Right.
prequel, is that what I loved about the first one is a lot of it is in shadow.
Is this
And
the
so your
is this the first
mind-
one?
Is
Sorry.
this the
mean?
first one?
When you say
yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yes.
well,
the
it's
original thing.
technically, it's the first one in terms of the date, but the other one's the prequel, so arguably it's first in time.
Oh,
But
right.
No,
So
but there's
it's
also one from
confusing.
the 50s, isn't there?
yeah. But that was.
But we're not talking about that.
We're talking about
Yeah.
this one. Sorry.
So when we say the first one, we mean
We
this
mean
one,
this
even
John
though it isn't
Carpenter.
the
We'll
first
just
one.
say
Yeah,
John
John
Carpenter's
Carpenter's, yeah.
thing.
Okay.
He sees.
The creature is in mostly shadow. So basically that was the freakiest thing for me, was that when things were changing, you didn't have any view of the entire creature. And so your mind could play tricks on what does the back of it look like? What is it standing on? How fast can it move? And things like that. That was the thing that kind of messed with me.
Yeah, Alien
And-
did this really, really well too, which was even before this film. But this idea of just leaving some things to your imagination is pretty cool.
It's so weird because you guys are saying all these things, and I've been reading bad reviews in this all day because it's
Oh, yeah.
fascinating.
Sana was reading them too.
Yeah, it's just so what
Funny
you're
you
saying
mention.
is it doesn't show it that much. A lot of the early critical smashes on this movie is that it shows it way too frequently and too much.
Right. So that you can kind of see that it's all a puppet sort of rubber kind of thing.
And then also
where you
people
kinda-
said that the special effects were crap back then, which I don't understand. I think this movie looks
I mean,
amazing.
it's different. What was the year on this?
82.
82. I mean, come on, 82.
It's pretty good for 82, in
I
my
mean, pretty
opinion.
good for 82.
Hell, there's
Shit.
CG movies today, and I watch trashy horror movies all the time. So I can tell you,
Yeah,
they look like
there's a lot of
garbage.
crap out there still.
What do you think the best
modern.
effect in this movie is? The single greatest shot.
Single greatest
Ooh.
shot.
Because I think it's the head when it's slipping down the side of the thing before it lands
Or,
on the
like,
ground.
sliding
and then
across
turning
the
into
floor.
spider.
That is
Yeah,
certainly the
yeah.
most original I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I haven't seen legs grow out of anything else like that.
Yeah.
That's true.
How did they do that? I mean, if that's all puppets, they had to have some kind of animatronic thing pushing the little legs out. How the hell was that done?
From underneath the ground.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
They got magnets or something?
No, they just had the thing, that shot where they come out, it's not moving. So they just had holes in the ground and they push the things up through the head. And again, it's not lit very well, so you can't really see.
Oh, I see.
In shadow.
It looks
Wow.
great.
Yeah, it does. And it's impressive. An impressive amount of work that must have went on to that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Carpenter was apparently mad at the the guy Rob Bottin, who is the special effects guy, because he would make these awesome things and then force them to light them very dimly because he was embarrassed they weren't good enough.
Oh,
So all the dim lighting was because the special effects guy was not confident.
insecure. Well, insecure.
I think it was a great
I think
choice.
it plays well, though. You don't want
Sana
to
likes it, so
Yeah,
that's
I
all
like
there
it.
is
I like
to
it a
it.
lot too.
Yeah, I think it worked.
Yeah, he was 22 years old, the special effects guy, when he made this movie.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow, it's a
right. He
baby.
also lost his mind because he was working 7 hours a day and 57 weeks in a row. So he basically was put in the hospital after everything. was done.
Wait, 7 hours a day?
Hey, how many hours a day?
This is my problem?
Oh, God knows how many hours. Probably like, I mean, that stuff
7
takes
days a week is what you're saying.
Yeah, 7 days a week.
Oh,
That's
all
it.
right.
That's 7 hours.
Wait
Oops,
a
my
minute.
bad.
Maybe this was my problem.
Like 7
then.
hours a day. That's good. Fuck yeah. I know
Pretty
someone.
good. I do that shit right now.
Yeah, I know someone that works that little
I
all
didn't
the
even be put in
time.
the hospital.
Yeah, shit, I'll make it through.
But he didn't even
Shit.
make it to the end. He he got hospitalized before he was done, and they had to call on Stan Winston to finish up. He was
no way.
Ooh.
That's, wow.
Wasn't it Bob? No, something. Rick Baker.
I thought it was Stan. I thought it was Stan Winston.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. She's looking at me like I know. I'm like, I don't fucking know. You think I know? I don't know this shit.
He created the
Read a
first.
bunch of stuff.
That's what
All
Denny's
the
for.
facts may be
Yeah.
blurring.
Yeah.
So
That's what Denny's for. I don't know this shit.
all these special effects guys are in the same club.
Yeah, there's only like 5 famous special effects guys ever, pretty much.
So can I ask, did anyone notice or anyone care that there were no female characters in this?
Oh.
My
Didn't
hands above
notice.
my head.
Of course not.
No, why would I?
It is striking.
What do you feel
Imagine
about
it.
that
I
as a
mean,
woman? And what do you feel?
I just bring it up for a reason.
I know, right? Tell me about it. So this is what's sad about it is that like when I originally watched it, I didn't notice it. Recently, when I watched it for this podcast, it occurred to me that there's no female characters in it. But when I originally watched it, I just assumed that like that is the accurate kind of gender makeup of anyone who's hanging out in Antarctica.
Right. Arctic Research
Who would be
Station.
there? But
But I
The
mean, there's got to be
trivia-
some like
Now
women.
there will be, but back in the
well,
80s,
no,
probably
so the
not.
original
Yeah.
maybe cast
not.
actually had a woman in it. So she was meant to be in it, but apparently from
got
IMDb trivia, she got pregnant and she had to get sent off. And so instead of like replacing her with another woman, like, fuck it, put another man. Done.
Ah, man.
I don't know which character they replaced.
Nowadays, they'd probably be like, no, we have to replace it with a
Oh,
woman.
yeah, for sure. There'd be a
but
lawsuit coming
But like before, they were just like, well, fuck it, who else is available?
Right.
And then it was some dude.
Like Keith David's available. Holy shit, yeah, sign him on.
I mean,
Right.
dude, it actually would have been probably good to have a female
Yeah,
character.
sure.
In it. They wouldn't have
Yeah.
all been like the same boring dudes.
Would it have added
I don't
anything?
know. They're cast kind of differently.
I don't know if it
Nah.
would have added anything. Probably not. Doesn't really take
Well,
anything
no,
away
because they
either.
never wrote female characters well.
That's
Back
She
true.
was-
then.
so she was just supposed to be the original love interest in the short story,
Oh, right.
apparently.
So
and so
did they get
I would
to-
imagine she'd be the exact same
Were they
character
going to
in
have a
this
sex
movie.
scene
So
where they both die? Because that's
Oh, you could
kinda
have like a
Yeah.
species sex scene where like you have sex with the alien.
Uh-oh. Her Sana's red is getting closer to the red line.
'cause there would inevitably be a shower scene
Yeah,
that
yes.
didn't need to be
There
there.
you go.
Oh yeah,
There you
someone
go.
would be eaten alive in the shower for sure. Wall
Yeah.
would
And by
open up.
someone, you mean the female
The
character.
The
woman.
bottom of the tub would
Right,
open up to a
absolutely.
giant mouth.
Yeah. Kurt Russell would get away unscathed. Yep. Probably make a joke at the end of it.
It's probably best that there was no woman in this.
It wouldn't have been treated well.
No,
Yeah,
it
you're
wouldn't have. It
probably
would have
right.
been very insensitive and it would have been very controversial these days.
These
Yeah,
days, for
probably.
sure. But
These
I
days,
don't
yeah.
know. You look at any 80s horror movie, it's pretty much accepted that
It's just
there's
all
scantily
dudes.
clad women all over the place. And you're just kind of like, ah.
I don't know, Alien did an awesome job of this. Again, we're going to watch Alien.
The
at
one
some point,
example.
but-
That's the
I
one
know,
example.
But I mean, Alien. Yeah,
I don't know. When
It-
she's
it-
getting out of the pod, she's still in her skimpies.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, she took her
that's
pants off, John.
fine.
Hey,
That's
hey,
all right.
hey.
So what?
As
You're
is
an
everyone else
asshole
on the
man.
crew. As is everyone else in the crew. But just point it out.
Okay.
Sometimes it gets hot.
You ruined
Fucking
Alien
Alien.
for me. Thanks.
Sometimes it's hot.
Sometimes it's hot.
What are
What
you
are you
gonna
gonna
do?
do? You
What
take
do
them down.
You go to sleep. You're going to sleep in your underwear. It's okay, right?
Dude, first things first, everyone else is dead. You're the only one in space. Pants off. Absolutely.
Yeah, no one's watching. You're good.
It's the first thing I do when I get home. I
That's
take my
right.
pants off.
There's one good thing about everyone else dead.
Nudity.
No pants.
Great. All right, this is a tangent.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Back to the movie.
Speaking of Alien, though, how do
Denny,
you guys think this movie compares? Alien.
How does it compare to
came out
Alien?
Before this, Alien was the 79.
Jesus, was it
When
really?
was
Sounds
Alien?
right. Sounds about right. 79.
Damn,
Yeah, 79.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it.
What?
I don't know. Half the time, I haven't seen any of these fucking movies.
Well, that's what
crazy.
Sana's comment about, or when we're talking about things being more in the shadow and left to the imagination. That movie definitely had a lot of that too.
Nice.
And a lot more about the atmosphere and anticipation and suspense. And the thing has that too. I think there's a lot of comparisons to be made in terms of even more so this idea of not knowing who to trust, or somebody could be infected. And you see this in zombie movies too, right? You just don't know when somebody's going to turn. And that creates this sort of element of suspense to the horror film, that it's not just, you against the monster, but any one of you could be the monster or have the monster come out of you or something like that.
I think The Thing does that even better than other movies might.
That's what's really cool.
Complete mystery in terms of, and you're like guessing the whole time. You're like, it's got to be that guy. It's got to be that guy.
Oh, he
And
answered that
so
question
fun.
weird. He's definitely turning. Oh, he's definitely going to open up his stomach, or he's definitely going to lose his neck.
Well, that's why this film is, like inspired video games. I think there's a board game recently that came out that's
Nothing screams
Really?
horror movies like board games.
Yeah. Well, no, it just is a great setting
Seriously.
for just it's a great setting for strategy and things like that, because you don't know who's infected, and you can't trust anybody. And so it creates
You ever play
this
that game, Don't Wake Daddy? That game was scary as shit.
Don't wake daddy.
What?
It was the one where you had to press the alarm clock, and like you drew a card, and it was like, press the alarm clock 3 times. And then like randomly the daddy would wake up and like make a really loud noise and scare the shit out of children. It was not a fun game.
Really?
I do not remember that game,
yeah.
and I'm glad that I don't.
Look up Don't Wake Daddy. It has a really funny commercial.
Oh, I'm on
in
it.
the 80s.
Back in the days of corporal punishment.
Yeah. So they could have done that. They could have built like a weird, mechanical board game thing.
Yeah.
Just like, the thing ate you, the dog thing.
Ugh.
But
I'm gonna play that game.
I like I think it does a lot for atmosphere. Alien does this too. It moves relatively fast, but there's this kind of a slow beginning where you're just kind of wondering why the hell they're such poor shots and why they're trying to kill the dog. And
I was wondering that. I was like, what are they doing? Then
You try to shoot a dog from a helicopter.
I know,
Well,
I know.
I
I'm
got
sure.
hooked at the moment when the Swedish guy like tried to throw the dynamite, but he threw it in the wrong direction. It was the
Right.
most comical
He's like,
moment.
"Oh,
I was like, this
this
does
is
not
bad."
belong here. I'm hooked. Let's watch the whole
What do we
thing.
got next? Let's keep it going.
Did the helicopter pilot jump out and start digging in the snow for the grenade?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But what's also,
Idiot, though. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
apparently Kurt Russell, he almost
go.
blew himself up actually a bunch of times in the movie.
Did he?
So
Oh, wow.
it's funny because like you watch this movie and you're like, nobody today would be using flamethrowers or
I
any
know.
of these things. Like all of these would be in their contracts that like a stunt person would be handling all of this. And it's like older movies you watch, you're like, damn, that person actually did that. And they probably
True.
almost died, but
I didn't really
And
think
they
about
did,
that,
yeah.
huh? I mean, now liability, they would never let you touch that shit as like the actor.
There's a scene where they let Kurt. So the one you're talking about, Sana, is the one. The shots in the movie. It's when. It's kind of hard. It's like towards the end. It's in the second half of the movie, and he is kind of inside the building, but someone's outside on fire, and he chucks his stick of dynamite at the burning thing, and the dynamite is real, and it explodes way closer to him than he thought it was going to be.
They have
Really?
they have
Yeah.
really explosives that they're
Real
lighting
dynamite.
fuses and chucking.
Yeah, and he has it in his
Holy
hand, and it's
cow.
lit, and he throws it and explodes sooner than he thinks. You can see him getting blown back from the
Oh my
explosion.
God.
yeah, they
So-
kept the scene.
So is that like when he like did? They were like, we told you not to do the stupid flip.
He's like, "Did you get it? Did you get it?"
Did you flip? We told you not to do the flip because the dynamite's gonna burn, and you almost
But
died
Jared,
because you did the
it's my
flip.
move, man. That's my signature move.
Dude, I'm
man.
doing
You
the
gotta-
flip.
Look,
He's like, I'm doing
I gotta
the
do
flip.
it, man.
Yeah.
Look,
As long as it
you
doesn't
got me
singe
here
my
for-
hair,
you got me
we're
here for
golden.
the hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the hair. You got to make sure the
Yeah.
hair is nice and non-crispy.
That's right.
That'd be a
That's
travesty
right.
if he lost his hair.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, or that beard, that beautiful
Yeah,
beard.
I wonder if he has that
the
stuff
hell is with
insured.
that cowboy hat anyway, man? He's like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what good it does if you're going to wear it sideways.
He's a goddamn helicopter pilot. Of course, he has a cowboy.
Yeah,
hat.
that's right. He's fucking
What?
badass.
It's not even a cowboy hat. It's like some weird gallon hat where it's like not even blocking the sun because it's like worn on his side. I don't get it.
Who does he to
Yeah.
block the sun? He's up in the.
This is
you
it.
know.
They're not. Yeah, they're not wearing these
Right.
things for like the actual
Well, it's
point
just
of
for
these.
style.
Yeah, right.
'Cause-
Come on, John.
Yeah.
How
It's
old
a
are you?
really ugly hat is if you're going for style. I'm just saying.
John's
You
90.
thought it was ugly? How dare you? That's
I
Kurt
know
Russell
it
you're
was
talking
ugly.
about.
And besides, why would you want to cover up that hair ever, right?
That's a good point. He did have it dangling around his neck most of the time.
That's a good spot for it.
Yeah.
When
Do you
you're
think
doing
maybe
flips,
that
holding
they-
dynamite.
They did some wardrobe things, and some of the hoods would cover his hair. And he's like, "Damn it, that's not enough hair on my face." So he grew his beard out really long.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
When the top hair is covered, the bottom hair is sticking out. All right, we got
Yeah, I
this.
think you might have nailed it, Denny.
Yeah.
I think you got it.
Check this out, man. I'm going to blow dry the beard. No, you're not, Kurt.
No, you're not, Kurt.
No, it's going to be
But
straight.
what about when I do the flip? What am I doing the flip? What am I doing the
flip? No, Kurt.
Just hold the flamethrower and don't kill yourself.
Oh, you almost killed yourself. All right.
All right. Here's a stick of dynamite.
Yeah.
Try that.
Try that one. Oh, shit.
Fuck, you almost killed yourself again. What's wrong with you,
angry
Kurt?
that he destroyed what was probably a very expensive chess computer for the 80s? Like, first shot, you see him and he pours booze into the
What
chess
slot
computer.
was that for? What the hell
That was
computer
a
has like a
disk
whiskey
drive.
port
I don't
slot?
know. Yeah, I
Ooh,
don't know. It's a
whiskey
whiskey
slot.
port, I guess. But
Yeah.
It's
Good
the
port.
computer mouth.
I like that port.
No, the port.
But they had a
Pour some port in
dedicated
there,
chess computer back then. That
It was the only
oh,
female voice. Just saying.
Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious?
No, that is for
It was
real.
John
So there
Carpenter's
was a
wife.
female in
Oh
there.
yeah, that's exactly what we should be counting.
Yeah, they got one.
Can't blame him for not
electrocuted
spreading the money
within
around.
moments.
Yeah. So what? They played chess. What are you gonna do?
Wait, did he call her a bitch? I don't
He
remember.
did call her a bitch. Thank you for
Gotcha,
pointing that out.
You know I'm gonna get punched in the face after this episode, guys. We're gonna hang up and it's just gonna sock me right in the nose.
I'm saying all this stuff sarcastically.
It's good for you.
Yeah. She's looking me dead in the eyes, being like, "Huh? See? Huh? You fucking prick? Huh?
We're all very progressive people over here.
Yeah.
Because we say so.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's all you have to do, right?
There would
Just
be
kidding.
nothing
I'm
wrong with
just
an
kidding.
all-female remake of this movie, except for the
Actually-
fact that it guaranteed would suck, just because it's a new remake and they all suck.
And they
Oh,
all
well, there's that.
not because
Yeah.
of the females.
Not because of the
right.
females, just because the people don't put really much
Actually, I
effort
kind of
into
want to see that movie. That would be kind of funny, actually.
Well, they did put more females into the remake, not the remake, prequel.
Am I
prequel.
actually going to watch these?
Have you,
is
have you
it
seen
worth
that
it?
one?
The prequel,
Sana?
yeah, I
Is
did,
it- how
and
is
it
it?
was very forgettable.
Oh, okay.
Was it aggressively bad or was it just not great?
I don't know.
You forgot it. Sorry, you already told me you forgot it.
It's
That's
very
fine.
forgettable. But the other thing is like it didn't have. So what I get annoyed by most movies is that they all feel and act the same, which is what makes them forgettable. So like the CG effects, once it takes over a movie, like that's all you can focus on,
Yeah.
and everything
Yeah.
else just gets forgotten about. And so like you can tell because all the money from this movie is going into these giant animation farms or whatever they are. And so, you know, the whole movie suffers as a result. Because, like, how do you get scared of something you're not looking at? You're looking at, like, at best, a green suited guy who's supposed to be, like, the analog for a CG creature that they're going to put on top, that they're going to superimpose in edit. And you're like, oh, wow, this is terrifying. I'm looking at this green masked man coming at me. Like, how? There's nothing there. You don't get that reaction.
I know, but I
Yeah.
thought, didn't they have to do that in the thing a little bit? I thought there were quite a few scenes where they just had to like draw an X or Carpenter had to describe what they were seeing because the puppets themselves weren't present.
Yes,
That's
that's
gotta
true.
be hard.
aware of
I don't
that.
know
But
how
we're
that'd
seeing
be
the
hard.
puppets.
Right.
Well, I mean, the one with the defibrillator one, I think they were in the room for that.
That was really actually had a double amputee do that part for the
Yeah.
special
Oh,
effects.
really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So that's amazing. And it looks great.
Yeah.
I
So-
didn't
so
notice one way or the other. So
Do you remember the prequel, Sana? Was that going to tell the story of the other station or
Norwegian
Yes.
camp?
So they were supposed to be the Norwegian camp, but they spoke all English.
Of course they did.
That's how
that sort of
Americans like to play it.
kills it right there, kind of, I guess. But,
I
I mean,
mean,
most of those
it was
places do speak
okay.
English pretty well.
I didn't dislike it. I was upset that it wasn't any character. Because, John Carpenter, with anything he does, has so much character. Whether you like it or not, it's like, yep, that's his shit.
And it's usually
But
really covered in cheese, but it's pretty, lots
It's
of character.
stylistic.
There was a lot
and
of
that's,
cheese.
that's the issue where it's like when you take something and you remake it, like keep the flavor of where it came from, as opposed to just homogenizing it to everything else that's coming out at the same time. It just becomes boring.
you
Yeah.
go from the
Forgettable,
cheese
if
to
you will.
processed
There you
cheese
go.
food.
Yeah.
You need the good lines, the one-liners. There's some
The
good ones.
There were
Lines.
so many bad one-liners in this movie.
Oh, you mean
Name
good.
one.
You mean
Oh,
good.
yeah. I mean, I guess it's how you see him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like how, like, I can't even imagine, like, this might one of the easiest movies probably to remember your lines in because they only say like
One
a
thing
few
at a time.
words every
Yeah.
line, right?
And I only remember one guy's name. I watched this movie a million times, and I only know McGreedy, and that's it. And everyone
Mac.
else's character names, Mac,
Childs.
right?
Oh,
And
Mac.
Windows.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. Windows.
And then you got
And
Wilford
everybody
Brimley.
else's name gets forgotten in my mind. Like, I cannot
Yeah.
keep up with anybody's characters.
Yeah.
Mr. Brimley.
Mr. Brimley. Which one was that?
Wilford Brimley.
He was the doc, wasn't he? Or the
Oh, he's Doc.
wasn't he the doc?
Well,
He was
they
the
just
fat
called him
guy
Doc,
they
didn't they?
shoved into
Oh, I called
the
Doc.
shed.
Yeah. He's the guy that built the spaceship.
And he's the guy who built the legacy of those diabetes commercials on television.
Oh, right. Diabetes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diabetes. That's right.
Hard not to think of those commercials. I don't know about you guys, but that's all I see. That was my introduction.
He
to-
didn't have like oatmeal. Wasn't he an oatmeal guy?
Oh, he's an
Was he?
oatmeal guy?
Oatmeal
Steel cut
selling.
or regular?
Is he the
Instant
quick
or
roast
talking
man?
about?
Is that what you're
He,
saying?
he sold some kind of breakfast cereal or something that he would sit there and talk pretty matter-of-factly about as if it was, real
We're going to have to
important.
start a new section called Vague Trivia that may or may not be true
yeah.
with John.
By John. Yeah. Wasn't that a
Was he a
thing?
cereal man?
Wasn't
Like
the
an
guy
Iron
from
Man,
Stranger Things in
Yeah.
this other movie? No,
Basically,
no,
he
no,
talk
it
about
wasn't.
It's just like
Yeah.
spitballing. It's just like, what about the thing with the guy and the thing? Yeah, right.
Right? I mean, I was half asleep and I was shutting my eyes because there was blood, but it
Right,
looked like him.
It's just good.
What did you guys think of the soundtrack?
It wasn't too bad. I was expecting way worse because I feel like you guys were talking about it last week, kind of hating on or Denny or something was hating on it.
I'm going to plead the
And it
fifth on
wasn't
that
that
one.
bad.
Yeah, for
wasn't
Wilford
that
Brimley,
bad.
Quaker Oaks. All right. I rest my
Oh,
case.
okay, you guys. See, John wasn't answering because he's still doing his own vague
I was
research.
Trying to justify my
Good
vague old
trivia,
man
John. Thank you for that.
ramblings.
Thank you for that,
Sorry,
John.
I
I'm
just
snapping.
wanted to, just even though it's still
I-
stupid,
I
I just wanted to
believed
let it
you
be
if
known
it's
that-
worth it.
We believed you. We moved on.
We just didn't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Quaker Oats, man. Okay, fine.
All right, John. All right.
So the question was, John, what did you think of the score?
Dun, 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 dun. It was all right. It wasn't anything. Just our DC was
That
good.
was very well done.
Nailed
John.
it.
Nailed it. Yeah. That was good. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, it was
I
pretty
think
much
that's
it.
Jaws is what you were imitating.
Yeah.
It's backwards, John. Instead of dun 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 dun, it's dun dun dun
Dun,
dun
dun,
dun
dun,
dun.
dun, dun.
It was nominated for a Razzie. Can you believe that?
Oh,
The
okay.
score?
Yeah. Pretty weird. I think it was that bad.
Nah, it fit the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
It worked.
I just appreciate that it wasn't, well, John Carpenter usually has music throughout the entire movie. I appreciated that he did not.
Like, just continue with it.
Yeah. So if you watch any of the Halloweens or anything like that, it's just like constant. He writes his own scores too.
Hmm.
So this
But he
is
didn't
one of
for
the
this
few
one.
movies. Yes, this is one of the few movies where he did not. And I was like, yes, thank you.
I mean, there was some times when the orchestra was too much. Like, and then just kept on going for no reason.
Well,
And
you
then-
should watch more John Carpenter and you'll know.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I thought it was cool. I mean, it worked. The old synths sounds pretty
It's
good.
weird too, because Ennio Morricone is the guy who did it, and he's the guy who did all the old westerns and stuff, like The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. And he did this one, but he pretty much ripped off the John Carpenter style. So
I
he
didn't
must have
know.
just been
I
a
just
fan.
had assumed he did it.
Yeah. And also to link those together, this movie is extremely reminiscent. Have you guys ever seen The Hateful Eight, the new Quentin Tarantino
Yes.
movie?
Yes.
That movie takes a lot from this movie, and that Ennio Morricone also does the score for that one.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah. I mean, just the whole setting, being trapped in the, they use the stakes with the lines in between it for the snowstorm so you don't get lost.
Hmm.
I assume people really do that, but I don't know, because there's not really another movie like this. That's all I do. I don't read books or look at actual things. I just watch movies. That's all I do. So if it's not another movie.
So
I don't
once I
know.
feel like I should know this thing, I don't really look it up. I just
No.
gotta watch another movie
Yeah.
and then see
Is
it
there
again. You're like,
any
that's
other
gotta be
movie
real.
with
Yeah.
snow
Well,
rope.
maybe you need to watch more movies with Antarctica as the main element.
That's right. Yeah.
I believe
Maybe.
I've seen all of the Antarctic element movies. I have a list of them, and it's nearly entirely crossed off. Did you guys hear about how poorly received this movie was?
Yes.
It didn't.
No.
It still made more than its budget, right? I mean, it didn't flop.
A little
flop.
bit. A little bit. It
Right.
was made for $15 million, and it made $20 million, which
Right.
is
Oh, so it
great.
lost some money, huh?
But it changed Carpenter's career entirely.
Hmm.
mainly because of the shot to his ego, because everybody hated this movie when it came out, which is the weirdest thing. I don't really
It
understand.
wasn't that bad. I don't
No.
know.
Well, it was because everyone's enamored by E.T. that got released 2 weeks before that.
Yeah.
And so
And there's
as a
some
result,
people-
audiences were just kind of primed for.
So all the
Happy
ET
Spielberg.
fans aren't IMDb user fans, and this one ended up on there. And
I get.
At
Well,
a-
everyone
at a
likes this
different
one
level.
now.
No, we don't have ET on our list.
No.
That's a little surprising.
It is
Movie-
surprising.
Movie's
no,
cheesy
it's not,
as hell.
no, guys. It's not surprising at all. We all know that this is the worst fucking list that's been ever written. Okay, like this is not surprising. Goddamn IMDb users.
There's also who thought this was a good idea to release this movie in the middle of summertime.
I'll take a
Oh,
horror
that's
movie
true.
any
Go put it
day.
in
We've
winter.
already
You're
You're
We've
talking
been
to
over
a
this.
woman that
We've
relaxes.
been over this.
Yeah, we're talking about a woman that relaxes with it in the background.
But don't you
okay?
think it would be nice to do it like it'd be scarier if you're surrounded by snow and this movie comes out that's like a snow horror movie?
You mean in California or
True.
where I was raised, which was
Yeah,
in the
which is not-
desert in Asia?
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you're living in the desert, you can only really
No,
watch
we
Tremors
specifically
is the
meant
only
as
scary one.
white dudes in the Northeast scared. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta think
Yeah.
more broadly, guys.
Yeah.
Like there's snow isn't everywhere. But no, I mean honestly,
Got us
I
on
like
that one.
no, I mean like if it's a good scary movie, it's a good scary movie. Like I mean, people are talking about The Quiet One right now, and it's hot as shit right now, but
Is
people are blown away by this film, and I can't wait to watch it. It's one of the few things I'm probably going to watch in the theater.
Quiet Place?
What is it called? Quiet Place?
I saw it.
Oh, is that the one where like you fucking if they hear you, they hunt
Yep,
you?
yeah, that one,
I
that
figured
one.
you'd like that one. Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
I don't watch horror movies in the theater because let me tell you,
Boring.
the rab will come out and they're yelling at the screen. And the
That's
kid,
the best.
the
That is the
teenagers
best.
are like
That makes
ruining
it
it.
fun,
Oh my
yeah.
god, nah. I watched a bunch of the Conjuring series in there, and it just that series in particular, you kind of need a focus because it is about the music, it is about the characters, it is kind of about the like unveiling of all the things that
Conjure.
make the ghost right?
Yeah.
And yeah, then just people like just yelling and laughing, texting.
But I
calling,
wouldn't
like,
have wanted to
can't do
see
theaters,
this
man.
one not in the theater back in the 80s.
Which one?
This one, the thing.
The Thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, what would you say?
This one would be a good one in the theaters. Don't you
I
think?
would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like some of the low end effects when like they move and come around. That'd be
You know who was a great actor on it?
Who?
The dog.
the dog was
Oh, I thought the dog was great. You're right.
Yeah.
I
The
agree.
dog was amazing.
good looking dog. Tell you that
The
much.
dog staring out the window pensively. That was a good effect. As you see those early scenes where the dog's like watching what's going on, and you see the dog like looking out the window. He looks so like serious. It's pretty cool.
Even when
A
he's making
serious
decisions
dog.
down the hall, he
Yeah.
he does this little paw thing when he's like trying to get in. And he's like, oh, maybe I'll go into this room. No, I'll go into this room.
Yeah. That was
And then
It's like
there's
the
this
smartest one
silhouette.
on set.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, because
That was
I
an
have
accident.
I have
Was
a
it?
dog of my own, and like the fact that this dog could do what it did, let me tell you.
Does it give you hope for your dog?
No, it does
no,
not.
it does not. Okay. Copy that.
Yeah, how does
But
it not
you're-
look at the entire crew behind the camera as they do that tracking shot down the corridor?
Yeah.
It doesn't look at them at all.
It was impressive.
Born and raised in L.A.
Apparently.
Lives in the hills. Knows
And
the
the
deal.
prodigy,
Yeah, knows
or
the
it has
deal.
a lineage
Yeah,
of like
yeah, yeah.
acting dogs.
Yeah.
You don't really want to hear where the dog ended up. It's pretty much.
Oh,
He's dead
no.
now.
It's
Dead
like,
now
yeah,
for sure, right?
Right.
Aw.
Yeah.
But what else? Where was he before he
It's
died?
Just a
you know?
lot of B-grade dog food commercials. Just sort of hit the
Oh,
stage.
like,
after-
I see where you're going with this. Like, you don't want to know his like his
I
career.
thought you were gonna go with like
His career went
cracked out
down.
dog bones or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
His career went all downhill, man. He was just on
Well, you
Purina
just let it
ads.
get to him. You do
no
that
more
with
film,
success.
though.
I had no
right?
idea
Like,
you were so ripe with TV commercial food
Yeah,
actors.
well, he wanted to direct, and nobody would give a dog a chance. I mean,
Throw a dog a bone.
No, I see what you did there, Danny.
It was terrible. That dog in the beginning was not the same dog. They spray painted him to look like the other dog.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of
He
strange.
was already on the outs. He was boozing it up back there. He wasn't ready. Come on, Spot.
Oh, we just
crap.
can't get him to
He's
show up on
drunk.
time anymore. He won't say his lines right. Like woof woof, doesn't get it.
No.
Poor
Damn it, he was
thing.
so talented.
Yeah,
though.
he
Look at the way
was.
he looked out that
Oh,
window. Look
man.
at that.
Oh man, I
They
heard
wouldn't be
he's-
able to get away with the
shame.
dog stuff in this movie either. Like they flew.
anymore.
There's a shot.
You mean?
they pointed out the helicopter flew 5 feet above the dog, and it scared the shit out of the dog, and it couldn't act for a couple days after.
Well, you can see like
damn.
that dog's looking back, going, "What?
Yeah, fuck the helicopter."
this isn't the way I normally work, guys."
Yeah.
Yeah, my dog is afraid of the wind, so
Wow, the
it's
wind.
afraid of many things.
Afraid of the
I can't
wind.
imagine a dog trying to grapple with what a helicopter is.
That's true.
So is it
Yeah.
afraid of fans like in your house, or is it like outdoor only wind?
Outdoor. So if it's outdoors, it freaks out. The sprinklers are on, it freaks out. It freaks
Oh.
out about a lot
Everything,
of
it sounds like. Jeez.
Wow, that sounds horrible.
It is horrible. For me
You wanna
and the
go
dog.
for a
For you
walk?
I'm
and the
like, I
dog,
don't
yeah.
know how to handle. I've done every anti-anxiety thing I can do.
Short of like dropping CBD oil in his
I've done
eyes or
that
something.
too,
Have
and it
you?
has
Oh,
not worked, man.
Oh,
My
shit.
dog is like the thing. Nothing can kill it or like affected in any way. Like he's impervious to everything.
You should get him a pair of like airplane sleeping glasses, a wheelchair, and swaddle him and just like drive him around town in the
I
wheelchair.
bet he'd like that.
He probably
that
would
dog
like
would
that.
love it.
Yeah.
And I've had sedatives from my vet that did not take this dog down. Like
Damn.
Damn.
it is, yeah.
Wind.
How big is it?
It's not that big. It's 35 pounds. He just has the most amazing genes. And that if he
And the
does
most
not
dis-
want to go down, he will not go down.
It sounds like it could have been good on set with the thing.
What do
Anyway.
you guys think? Is this movie worth talking about when you think certain things happen, or does it not matter whatsoever?
What do you mean? In
Oh,
terms of,
like there's like
Like
a
who was
build-up
infected
arc
first,
of like
who was infected
yeah,
when?
right. As long as Kurt Russell isn't affected, I guess it doesn't matter, does it?
Well, that's why I
Yeah.
like the movie is like, I forget who gets affected first and when and why. Like the reasons are so subtle. And then there's the reason why I thought of the dog scene was that there's a scene where he's coming down the hall and there's just a silhouette of a dude, but you
Yeah.
don't know who. And
But
so,
you can look it up.
well, of course you can look it up. But
Well,
it's
yeah,
like,
look it up.
"Hey, come on, guys.
Do you want me to ruin it for you?
It's the
Who's
whodunit.
the first
It's
one?
the whodunit
Good, that's
clause. You're supposed to figure it out by yourself.
I don't think you can because what John Carpenter actually used a stuntman to do the silhouette because he didn't want any hints saying like who that person was.
That is true.
But the production designer has come out and said that Palmer was supposed to be the first one, and he's the guy who looks like Pauly Shore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the guy who like
Palmer.
ends up, eating the head of the other guy, Windows.
Windows. There you go.
Yeah.
Although, is it just me or does he remind you of the guy from that 70s show?
Oh, he
Windows?
does.
Yeah.
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 Like, as
What's
soon
his
as
name there?
I don't know what his name is, but
I was thinking
The
about
and the
non-famous one.
sunglasses and
Sunglasses,
everything.
yeah.
Just like, dude, I can't take this movie seriously because he
He
reminds
looks just
me.
like him. Yeah.
Pauly
Yeah.
Shore versus the guy in that 70s show. It's a good movie.
Okay.
I'd watch it.
Do you guys not do you not think that guy looks like Pauly Shore? He looks exactly like Pauly Shore. From
I
like
don't
in the
remember.
army now, Pauly Shore,
You're talking about the,
Palmer.
I don't even know what his character is. He had the holster with the gun.
He was a pothead.
No. Oh, wait. Okay. I don't remember what Polly Shore looks like.
These are good things. You don't need to. No one needs to remember that.
Oh, Pauly Shore. Come on.
Oh, Pauly Shore dig. Hey.
What do you guys want to talk? I have commentary. There's not very much. The commentary was not great.
Who was on the commentary?
It was Kurt Russell and John Carpenter.
Oh, you think that would be interesting?
You'd think so, but no.
Popped
No.
out.
Did Kurt mention his hair at all? At least
Yeah,
once?
or the beard. Do we have any updates on the beard or the hair?
He does talk about his beard,
Oh,
but
no shit.
he mainly laughed his way through it. Like they did the thing where they were having fun hanging out. They're like, "Oh, this movie was fun to make, wasn't it? Yeah, all right, cool. Check out this part." And they'd watch it, and they'd be like, "Ha ha ha, that's gross. All right, let's watch the next part."
That's kind of fun though.
Is it?
Sounds
Is it
like my
listening?
perfect
For
evening.
them. For them.
You're like, why
Right?
wasn't I invited?
They're
I
like,
wanted
oh,
to
is
do
this
that."
so good that we like already made it and our careers are basically at the end point and we're like getting to watch this, even though at the time we didn't know where we were going?
Yeah. How long of a period of time is this movie supposed to take? Like
I would
over
think
what
like a
period
week.
of time?
A
Is it
week,
a week?
maybe?
No one ever sleeps the entire time.
That
Oh, he's
is
a light
awesome
sleeper.
that you pointed
That's
that
a-
out.
Yeah.
He's a
No,
light
don't they-
sleeper.
You're right, maybe.
So it
Yeah.
has to be like maybe max 3
2 days, 3
Yeah.
days.
Well, when that is going on, how do you sleep? Even for a week, you could handle it.
That's true.
Your life
adrenaline
is
would
on
be-
the line.
Like these things are like they're coming out of their stomachs. There's a dog. There's a thing.
I think you'd be able to do it easily. So
We're
like they
burning
fuck up the
people.
logic. One of the problems I have with this too, again, doesn't matter. But they're like, let's split off into teams of 2. How is that going to help you? Teams of 3 people, teams of 3.
I mean, they did have the manpower, and I say man
even at the
very
very-
deliberately.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Even at the end, John, what? What about the end?
No, at the end, the 3 of them, they all split up to go plant the dynamite. Y'all go together, plant that dynamite together.
That makes no sense. Yeah, don't leave each other's side. I don't
Yeah.
get it. I don't get it.
And even when they're like, all right, teams of 2 always, as soon as they say that, people are individual again. You're like, just because
Because one
you're
of you
down the hall.
is definitely going to die.
You guys
Yeah.
don't understand the horror genre. I'm sorry, you guys.
No, we have way too much logic for this. They're
Yeah.
like-
That's the whole point of horror, in my humble opinion, is it's meant to be entertaining
Stupid?
dribble. Yes, it's not meant
So
to
maybe
be.
better
this
than
is
when they have a
why
good
this is
excuse to
why
let
it's
people go
relaxing
off
to
by
Sana.
themselves.
Yes,
Because
you
it's
just
so
look at it and be
stupid.
like, that's a stupid idiot's going to
You're
go
like,
ahead.
there you go. There you die.
Dead.
Because it's more fun when you're rooting for the people to get eaten alive.
If they're stupid, yeah, why
Yeah.
not?
I can see that.
You should have seen her pointing. You should have seen her pointing right now. And she's like, dead. They're all fucking dead. Bunch of bums. I love it.
It's Darwin's theory at work. Let's be real.
Especially when it's all men. Fuck them. They might as well die, right? Yeah.
Well, with the horror genre, women go first all the time. They're the ones in the shower. We've been over this, guys. We've been over this.
Dead.
So who do you think at the end? Who's are both of them the thing? None of them? One of them?
They gotta both
What's
be
the-
the thing, right?
Could they be? Wouldn't they be able to talk to each other? I have no idea.
So they
That's
should be able
interesting.
to, because that's the whole point, that it
they're
assimilates
not the thing?
perfectly.
Yeah.
So they're not the
We
thing?
don't know. We're not.
We don't know.
I don't think
We're
we're,
not
supposed to know.
Okay.
You can look it up.
Oh,
But that
really?
ruins it.
Yeah.
Is one of them actually
what's
the
the-
thing?
Do you want me
I
to
thought
tell
they were-
you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure,
Yes.
Jenny, go ahead.
So there's a new commentary track that some production studio did a new commentary with the cinematographer in 2012. And he said that they always did an eye trick, like eye lighting, whenever somebody wasn't the thing. They had eye light to show life. You know, eye light was like when your eyes glint from the...
Oh,
From a
like
lighting
they
designer
actually, like it
standpoint?
actually, yeah. They've got the little.
And he doesn't
Reflection.
say anything like who's who, but if you look at the last scene, Child's character does not have a glint in his eye.
No
Oh,
shit.
no.
Yeah. Plus, there is a 2003 video game for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox that is considered canon by John Carpenter, which explains
I
what
played
happens.
that.
Did you?
And what happens
No,
in the
I'd
video
play it.
game?
I'm sorry. I didn't
Oh, you
say
would
I
play
actually
it. Okay.
played
Well,
it. No,
I remember it getting good reviews at the time. I never played it, but actually it got quite good reviews.
I didn't play it
awesome.
either, but yeah, it's supposed to be good. And Child's apparently, they don't say whether he's the thing or not, but he dies of exposure. And McReady's character lives and helps the main character of the game out escape at the very end of the game.
McReady?
Mac,
So he
Kurt
said-
Russell, the beard,
Mac-
the hair.
Yeah.
McCready?
Hey,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, they
McGreedy?
call him McGreedy, but it's spelled
McReady?
McReady.
McReady.
Hey, McReady.
Mac.
It's just Mac.
So Kurt Russell's gone, is what you're saying.
No, he's alive.
Wow.
Child's
That's
is
what I'm
dead.
saying.
He's
Keith
impervious.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be
he's
God
gone.
to be
And
impervious.
that's canon. So he survives. I kind of like the idea that both, I mean, I thought the point was from
They
the
die.
movie, I just took it, they both freeze right there. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
They're
They're all
down
very
drinking-
quick to
drinking
accept
some scotch.
certain death, right? I mean, I wouldn't be that. I'd be like, no. Let's think about it, guys. Let's not kill each other so quick. I don't want to
They're
die.
in the Antarctic. There's nowhere for them to go.
Dig a hole. Dig a
Thank
hole.
you.
There's
True.
always an answer.
It's
in
going to
digging a
get
hole.
cold and there's no fucking power left. You're fucked. Drink the whiskey and,
And they saw
Go
what
to
happened to
sleep.
the Norwegians. I
Give
mean,
up.
when they saw the Norwegian camp, they're like,
this shit's fucked.
is
These
bad.
people are
Let's just blow everything up and
These
then
people are
sit and
dead.
drink while it burns.
Oh, when I was reading the reviews that were being really negative towards it, and everything they were describing as negative was like, this is exactly why I like this film.
Yeah. It's weird.
But they were talking about, oh my God, I'm spacing again. Sorry.
Space. Figure it out. You got this. I had to feed the cat. So that's what I
I
was
know, I
doing.
got
I wasn't paying
distracted.
attention at
It's
all.
like moving across.
I'm
the
fucking
cat's
feeding the cat
adorable.
over here. Hey. He's looking at me funny. She's like the thing. I don't know if she's going to open up.
Fuck,
She's
I'm
a can of
sorry.
food.
Do not
My
defibrillate the
thought-
cat. Don't do it.
Yeah. It might open up and eat
Yeah.
me.
It will bite your hands off.
I want fancy feast. Anyways.
If something bit down on my arms, my reaction wouldn't be pull my arms away. I would let them dangle there for a minute to see if they were like connected at all. You know?
Was this a bit? Are you doing a bit right now? What are you doing?
Am I? No, I'm
It
just
sounded
saying.
like a Brian Regan bit for a second there.
I'm so stupid that I.
You wouldn't try and pull your arms out of the mouth.
I leave my arms down there for a little bit. We'll let them dangle. Why not?
Dangle up, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good. Still dangle. You never know. See what you do.
Yeah. Brian Regan in a remake of The Thing. That'd be pretty good.
That would be hilarious. Yeah.
Nice.
All comedians, not trying to be serious.
I think Jay Leno was almost cast in this.
What?
Jay Leno?
Yep.
That doesn't
That
sound right.
can't be right. That doesn't
Sana
sound
doesn't
right
buy it.
at all.
I don't buy it. Denny doesn't buy it. That's
All
three
right,
versions.
all right,
Here we
give me a
go.
moment
Here we
as
go.
I
There's a few big actors that were trying to be cast for Kurt Russell.
They all said no, didn't they?
Yeah, Clint Eastwood was one of them. Not remembering the others, but there were some big timers that all turned
who
him
was going
down.
to play Palmer? It was deemed impossible for him to do so. So as the character has some comedic moments, Universal brought in comedians Jay Leno, Gary Shandling, and Charles Fleischer. You imagine Gary Shandling?
Hey. So anyway, there's a thing.
To have him turn into the thing would be hilarious.
It's a thing. It's coming out of the chest. Hey, look at that. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's coming out of the thing. Hey, someone burn that thing. Hey, burn that thing. Hey, burn that thing.
That would suck.
That would be so weird. He's like, hey, I have a car. I got a Ferrari. This thing is coming out of its chest. I don't understand it. It's a thing.
Leno, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
We're going to die.
Leno, those aren't your lines. You're not doing a bit right now, Leno.
Why did they bring back the steaming corpse? That was a bad idea, right?
Which one?
The corpse was still hot. They brought back like a steaming corpse in the helicopter.
That's a good question.
Wait,
They went to like the Norwegian base and they found that like double-headed thing.
That totally made sense
It
to
was
me.
like the find of a century. What do you
Right.
mean?
I would bring that
It's
shit
alien,
back.
man.
Fuck
Yeah.
that. Burn that. Oh,
Burn the
God.
shit out of that thing. I'm with you, Denny.
Yeah, that thing is not good. Like it had two heads and they were like stuck together kind of. Burn it.
I'd find ways to make money off
when,
of that.
when two heads are melted together, you kill that thing.
You're
Whatever
like
it is.
the Paul, what's his name, character from the second Aliens movie, right?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, fuck human life. We want to make cash off these alien creatures.
Hey, we gotta get that cash. That's true.
I believe in
That's true.
collateral damage.
I just feel like it's a really hard genre to like be good at because it can be so cheesy, and shitty.
Because anything that's scary, like the number of people I approach that are like, oh, I love horror movies. And they're like, oh my God, no, I close my eyes when I do this.
What does that
Oh my God,
sound
was
like?
that you, John? That was a good imitation of John.
Thanks.
Denny, my
Oh my
man.
God, how can you do it?
Well, to be fair, John, he needs to go away when the things are bloody, and that makes sense.
Right.
You know.
I go
Did you
inside.
close your eyes during this one, John?
Yeah. How many times you close them? Just think.
No, I looked away. I think usually any of the surgery.
How is that
sort of
different than
things-
closing your eyes? Is looking away less than closing your eyes?
Well, it's not the same thing, Denny. You can
Yes, it
keep your
is.
eyes open and look away. I'm just telling you.
We're talking about, all right. So the only thing I care about is what part of the movie you're watching the screen of. I don't care what your eyes
I
are
see.
doing.
So, you're
So
talking
basically,
about-
none of the special effects, like their magic, did not dawn on you in any
No,
way.
it did. It did. He's not that bad. He's for making fun of him more than
All right, wait. Is it? We didn't get a straight answer. I don't know if that's true, John.
What do you mean?
Did you watch the entire movie?
I'm trying, John. I'm helping. I'm trying to help
Most
you
of
here,
it. Thank
bud.
you, TC. It's kind of you. I watched most of it. I think, and the most look away parts are when they just linger on the gore, cutting it up and things like that. That was more like, I don't
Oh my
wanna see
God, the
that.
autopsy scene was amazing.
Yeah.
Where
The
I mean,
finger
I
cutting.
appreciated how the doc was like, "Oh, this is horrible," and
Yeah,
he
he's
keeps
like,
cutting, and he's pushing.
and he's making all those
pushing his
noises.
Smell it? Oh my God, the stink.
Dad
Oh, the
noises.
stink. Oh God, he kept looking that face like, oh, this is disgusting, and it was. I honestly, John, I think I might have looked away at that point too, because I was waiting for a tentacle to come out
Come
of
on,
it.
guys.
yeah,
Come
yeah.
on,
Gross, you know?
guys.
Yeah.
Come on. How can I be the one who watched that? And you guys
You're a
didn't?
sick fuck, Sana. What do you want?
There's a part where the dude cuts his finger open and squeezes the blood out, and I'm like, ooh, no.
Okay. Well, it's funny because like another show that I like, poorly trashy. This is not good. But it's one of my favorites. Have you guys ever heard of a show called Supernatural?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. every
WW's
goddamn
movie.
episode has them cutting
WC.
their hands open because they need to do a blood ritual, and just like, oh yeah, it's like painless. It's just like me, just kind of
Yeah,
like
just like over here with my hand, cut it open.
it is just these signs where like everyone who cuts themselves in any way in movies or TV shows, it's like it's painless. Like
easy.
no, it hurts like a motherfucker,
And it doesn't
Have you
heal
cooked
because
in
it's on your
life?
hand.
Like
Yeah, I
It's
can
just a
see
paper
that.
cut you're giving yourself. It's terrible. Yeah, I don't like
I
it.
know. Yeah, I don't
dude,
know.
with the
I don't know.
scalpel, the way it looked, at how deep they were cutting, like no way you
No, it
would
hurts
be
like hell.
squealing.
No, you're cutting tendons.
And they had
Science doesn't-
needles. They were
doesn't
using
check
needles.
out.
Why don't they just draw blood with needles? Why do they have to slice their freaking fingers open?
Yeah, all
know.
you need is a prick,
Yeah.
and then yeah,
Gross
Yeah.
though.
Anyways,
Effectively
yeah.
gross.
super. I mean, that was the point of the
Got
show.
a good mental image
Yeah.
going on. Thanks, Sana.
So
Appreciate it.
one thing that after this time, most recent time that I've watched, that confused me was there's the initial in the beginning, the thing that is a dog.
Dog
gets
thing.
put
Gotcha.
into right
Dog
gets put
thing,
into
copy.
the den. It was at a dog form at that point, and it starts to eat every dog in that kennel.
Uh-huh.
And that's the point where they realize that, oh, this thing is assimilating. And what I didn't understand was it had already become a dog. Why did it need to eat other dogs?
For them to figure that out.
Like, it needed to assimilate to another looking dog. Like, I don't know. It just
It just
seemed
eats everything,
odd.
doesn't it?
Well, it's supposed to just take over everything, right?
Yeah.
To win, it must be everything.
I guess so. But it was like the way they described it and be like, this is how they figured it all out and be like, it needed to assimilate so that it
But it was
exactly
already
a
the dog.
replica.
It was
exactly.
assimilated,
It was
yeah.
already a perfect replica of a dog. Why did it need to eat all the other dogs?
Poor dogs. I mean, you know when a dog's biting open a metal fucking fence, shit's gone bad.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. I was holding. I'm like, come on, bud. Come on, bud. Eat that
Bite
fucking
it, bite
fence.
it.
Eat it. Eat it.
But then
eat
you
it.
see the tentacle
Let's
go through its head, and you're like, oh, that's bad. That's not
He's
good.
done. There goes another one. Oh, geez, we're fucked.
Oh,
what
he's
was
shooting it with a gun. Shit.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
what was
axing
with
the dog.
what
Shit.
was with the guy's like fucking weird relationship with the dogs?
Yeah,
What's
that guy.
wrong with that? I don't know.
That
It
was
seemed
weird.
nice.
He was ready to like put up the dogs over the people at any cost.
I don't know. I've had those moments.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, there were
All
people
right,
that
fine.
write about it. They're like, yeah, people can die, but like dog violence? Come on. You're like, screw you, man. People eat dogs. Who gives a shit about dogs?
Yeah, I mean, that thought didn't run through my mind, but yeah, sure. Yeah, I see where you're going with that.
You know what's a cool...
I don't see dog and go, tasty.
No, fuck that.
I'd try it.
Only
I'd try
in
it. No.
horror movies is that allowed.
Yeah. Did you guys think about the alien spaceship in the beginning? This is not something that crossed my mind, but somebody wrote something about how you don't really know if the thing was cargo in the spaceship that broke. Like if you think about it, the spaceship is like crashing, it's out of control, and it smashes into Earth like before humans exist. Kind of, right?
Interesting. Didn't
It
think
could
about
be
that.
there's a whole thing situation happening on top of like in the
Right,
spaceship.
like that. It would taken over the aliens inside the spaceship, or they were
Right.
fighting it, and that's
Yeah.
why it crashed. Or yeah,
That's kind of cool. I like that
It's a
idea.
multi-level alien thing.
Yeah,
It's the
that's
prequel
the
of the prequel. I would
Right.
watch that.
Yeah.
yeah, that would be good.
It'd be pretty much the movie Alien, except for Ridley dies at the end.
Aw,
Oh,
nobody
no,
wants
Ridley.
to see Ridley die. Come on. Only
Oh, she's-
female.
Here we
Hey,
go.
at least she dies last.
You
At least
really
she
know
dies
how to
last.
get on her buttons there, Denny. Here we go. Here we go.
Hey, floating in space with her underwear on. I mean, that's a pretty good way to go.
Dude, there's nobody looking. You gotta wear your undies,
Right.
right?
If you were all, there's a line in the movie. If you were all these things, you would just all attack me right now, or something like that. Is that true?
I don't think it is.
I
Because
don't
why
think
would
they
you
can
want
tell.
your host to know that you're coming for it?
Right, but if it's like 7 things versus one non-thing, do the other things know what the things are? I don't think so.
It doesn't seem like that's how it worked.
Yeah. Was there ever more than one in the same area, though?
Isn't it just one thing?
Oh my God, I got to watch this movie again.
Isn't it just one thing?
No, it's
There's
more than
not
one, because every
multiple
time it
things.
kills somebody, it like spreads.
Yeah, but it's all
you
a
know.
part of one thing. Right?
Well,
it's like
it
a
only
virus.
surfaced when it felt threatened.
It's like you're not getting like 10,000 different flus after. You get one flu virus. That
But
gets
it's not
you,
one.
Right?
It's not one single thing, right? Because there's like the dog one they kill. There's the one that like crawls up into the ceiling and escapes. So it's split into 2.
Right.
Split into 2 different things. They burn the guy when the guy gets taken over. They burn him, and then there's still
I
something
just thought
else.
the
like,
thing was at like cellular level. Wasn't that like
Well, it is, but I mean, like, there's human-sized, like dog/human-sized things in there, right?
Fucking thing.
And are we supposed to believe that? Were you just laughing at your own joke there a little bit?
No, Sana's laughing at my joke.
She's laughing quietly, but trying
very,
to
very quietly.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. It was
It's
supposed to
probably
believe
because the
since,
face
like,
I made when I said that. I was like, oh, fucking thing.
did the things
Anyways.
every time they burn, do they go into the basement and recollect themselves? Because that thing had like a dog in it and a human in it. Like all this, what's going on? Does it matter?
Like they've got like a tally of who they've taken over, and then they come back.
Yeah, they're like,
for it.
oh, dude, I got injured. Can I join your mass? And you're like, yeah, hop on in here, buddy.
Why not? Come on in. I'm
Yeah.
ready. Yeah,
It'll be a dog man. It'll be fucking frightening.
a dog man. Dog man.
We'll be a wet dog man.
No, but see, I think that what you're describing is the exact reason why there's only one thing, right? It's the same entity that just keeps morphing into other things, and it
So
keeps
does fire
splitting
not kill it?
off. So that's the mystery of it, right? Like it keeps transferring from one body to another. That's why it still has the dog from the original.
Yeah, this fucking thing loves osmosis. It's like a huge fan.
I'm assuming it's one entity.
Or it could just be like, there's like, 9 dogs, and then one of the dogs got assimilated correctly by one of them or something. I don't know.
I mean, when you don't
And he
have
got
skin
away.
and fur, there's no assimilating. Those things are fucking creepy.
Spiders of the dogs.
All of them. The dog, the
spider
thing,
dog,
the spider thing, the thing.
spider
thing,
dog with the
all
tentacles.
things.
Yeah.
I don't know. The guy who was the defibrillator person, he had a
That
hairy
fucking
ass
Jaws
chest.
thing. I don't know.
No, he had a hairy ass chest. I watched the video I watched on like how they did the effects on that. They basically said that they spent a ton of time casting the actor who had his chest kind of ripped open over like multiple days, if not weeks. And they even
I don't
got
like how the hair lays on the chest.
every chest hair exactly like his. And it's like, no one saw him with his shirt off, so you could have
Couldn't
done
have
anything.
anything, yeah.
Like, what was the point? Like, why? would
They
you
wasted
need
a lot of
that
time on
detail?
casting. We never saw him with a shirt. Yeah, I guess I see what your point is.
Or, man, you could have just shaved
Look,
it if
all
you
we know
really
is
needed to
it's
save some time.
Wax that shit.
Yeah, it's a fucking mouth with teeth coming out of your chest.
It's a chest mouth. They had to get a
Chest
fat
mouth.
guy, though. That makes sense. Fat guy, that makes sense. Because you want the
Yeah.
space for all the
you
mechanisms.
need the belly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta have
Yeah,
the
that was
belly.
the casting process. They're like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
guy's,
Let me see your beer belly. Not big enough. All right, next.
can you gain some weight
Can you get
by next week?
I don't think so. Next.
Who's that guy in Star Trek? The bad actor. What's his name?
Which
You mean
one?
all of them?
Yeah.
Oh,
The one
I
who
love
looks-
Star Trek. I love Star Trek.
The
I
guy
but
do
I
who's
too.
the
think-
fat guy. Who's
Oh,
like something on the wing.
Scotty?
That guy.
Yeah, Scotty. That's
You
Scotty.
can't
Scotty.
forget about
You-
Scotty.
That guy was fat,
something
fat
on the
Scotty.
wing. Wait a minute.
He said, the cotton can't take it. The engines.
No, not him. The
That's
the
Scotty.
fucking
Wait, oh,
that's
that means
the old one.
Shatner? You mean
Shatner.
Yeah.
Shatner.
Shatner.
He didn't
Priceline.
start off
Talk about
chunky.
Priceline.
The-
He
the
started
mouth-
off real slim.
The mouth stomach guy looked like a fat Shatner.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
fat Shatner.
No.
Took a fat Shatner. All right. Let's see what he did there.
Who gets McReady's jacket? McReady?
Greedy?
Mac?
Is it like the guy from Pearl Jam or what?
Yeah.
I
What
don't know.
like his jacket is there? What does that mean? Like they find it tattered on the
Well,
ground. Which,
it was a setup. It was supposedly a setup by one of the guy
think
that
the
actually
things-
was the thing.
you
Yes.
think the things are that smart?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. Okay. I never got the impression that they were smart at all.
I believe it.
Oh, I think there's. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not necessarily specified what they can or can't do, but everything's sort of left open. So you'd think that. So somehow, like the guys, they can act normal even though they are the thing. Like until the blood test, that guy was acting normal. So
And as soon as the blood thing, he just started shaking like crazy.
So the host has no idea the thing is a thing.
right.
Well, they said the
So-
cells were all connected. So if one part of it is attacked, all of it is attacked. I thought.
Oh, well, if we were watching the perfectly video game, put together video game, we would see that once you get one cell, all the cells are taken over.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like what horror is, right? Like you throw yourself into suspension of disbelief. And so if you believe one part of it, you should
Gotta
believe
believe all of
most of it, right? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, the idea of plot holes and like, why would anyone think that? It's like, whatever. It's like, it's part of the genre. You're meant to follow along until it's like absolutely ridiculous where like there's a knife in your face and you walk into it. Like, let's be real.
All right. I guess I'll give you that. Did we lose them?
What? No. I'm back. Denny, are you still with us? We might have lost Denny.
I think we might have lost Denny. There wasn't enough reaction there.
Sorry.
Waiting for someone to argue with me.
There he is back, right?
Denny's back.
I'm back.
Okay. Sana had a good point, but you were
what do we
gone.
argue about?
Yeah, Sana had a good point, but you were gone, so there was no reaction.
What's the point?
'cause John
What's the
was,
Let me know.
didn't care.
What was it? I want to hear it.
Oh, so the whole point of horror is that you're throwing yourself into the sense of disbelief, right? Like you're just kind of throwing yourself into this world where the logic doesn't quite
No.
line up.
No.
And yes,
That is-
because unless you believe in ghosts and you believe in vampires and you believe in these things to be true,
No, there's not.
Like,
It's
you
not
have
all
to-
horror movies. That's a vast majority of them. But there are horror movies that are completely believable.
Like what?
Shit. Oh no.
Oh, no.
I mean, there's the
Denny
things where
is
like
somewhat believable.
Denny.
Saw?
no,
Saw.
Saw is kind of believable.
No, okay, man. Have you watched
You watched
all of them?
Dateline? Have you watched
Seven?
Dateline?
Yeah, that's
it's
horrific.
believable.
No, but I mean, to the Saw point where it's like I've watched the series, not a fan, but I still watched all of it. But like
The first one's good. Come on, the first one.
contraptions are unbelievable because you're thinking about these contraptions will cost millions to make. There is nothing believable about these things. I don't know. It
What
just
about the Blair
seemed
Witch?
crazy.
Blair
Blair
Witch.
Witch was interesting.
What about like Blair Witch Project, bro? Hey, what do you think about that?
What about like the sequel? Pretty good.
You ever gone to a cabin in the woods before, bro? It's haunted, you know? Shit.
But if you believe one part of if you get sucked into the horror genre in any way, like you have to believe the beginning setup, right? Like alien landed on Earth, you don't know what it's capable of. It could be capable of anything. So why wouldn't it be able to take a jacket and frame McCready for being a thing, right?
Wow,
Yeah.
you give a lot of rope to these movies, don't you?
Well, she likes the horror.
That's the whole
fucking
point.
thing.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not here. It's not a scientific show. It's not a quiz show. This is not like the whole point is that you're throwing yourself into a fantasy land. I mean, people watch Lord of the Rings, don't they? Like what?
No,
Yes.
Mordor is
Why
real.
is that
Mordor is real.
Why?
No.
Don't you dare.
Mordor is
Don't you
real.
dare.
Okay, yeah. There's
you could
goblins,
be-
there's little guys, there's fucking trees that talk. It's fucking
And to be
Mordor.
fair, romance movies are just as fantastical as fantasy.
That's true too, right?
Yeah.
Like it before sunrise or something. Like, hey, let's meet in Paris.
Yeah,
and we're just gonna love
Love
each other.
Actually.
to have a
That's a
moment
fantasy
in the
movie.
rain where the love of my life is be like, oh my God, I can't live without you. That is fantastical, guys. Come on.
I mean, she kind of has a point there, but some of these horror movies are pretty ridiculous.
I think just in movies, you need to like set rules and to kind of follow them, you know?
Yeah, but that's what you're that kind of guy.
But that's
Logical.
the who done it or the why done it issue, right? Like there's an
What
alien that
done it?
showed up. Why wouldn't it be able to do it? What empirical proof do you have that says, oh, it's not smart enough to do that?
Yeah, like in Arrival, like, oh, they can talk in these little fucking signatures. It's
Not
obvious.
only that, it can twist time into a language. Jesus Christ. Like,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know.
I love that you
Ah.
brought that up. That's fantastic.
You make good points.
Monster movies
I
are
can't
great.
argue with that.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, these movies,
They're entertainment
you
based
have to give them
only.
a large breadth. But some of them are just ridiculous. But this one, well, I don't know. It was pretty ridiculous.
It's
but I could believe it
fun.
happening.
But it's supposed to be fun, right? Like, why is anyone poking logic at the stuff? Like the Leprechaun series. Has anyone ever watched those?
I don't know, but do sharks really go
Leprechauns
in
are not that
tornadoes?
short.
I don't fucking
I mean,
know.
those movies suck.
And why are they so ugly? Oh my God.
And where did Ice-T
Just
come from? What's happening here?
Ice-T belongs in every horror movie.
Hey, yeah. Imagine, hey, yeah.
That's some
what y'all
scary
doing
shit.
I
here?
was very disappointed in John Carpenter's Ghost of Mars because Ice-T was in it. And I was so amped up to watch it as a teenager. And I was like, this is such dribble. Oh my God. It was
I didn't even
so
know he
bad.
did that. I just don't even
Vampires
wanna-
was also bad.
Oh my God. But in the most hilarious way
So what
possible.
happened
Really?
with Carpenter then?
So-
Carpenter went off the rails or what?
No, that's just his style, man. He's
Oh.
just not good.
He's just not good.
No, he makes the cheesiest freaking movies ever.
No, that's why I was so impressed that The Thing was John Carpenter's creation.
Yeah.
In fact, it was his favorite.
Because it's the best
And-
one. Easily the best one.
Easily. And he was scared that people were going to laugh at it in the theaters, which I thought was really sad.
Yeah.
But it was his best. It is his best.
People like Halloween, but I don't know. This movie's
No,
way
Oh, it was
Halloween.
good. I started it the other night and I had to stop it though.
No. I watched all of them, but I still I can't help myself. I have to watch all of them, even though they're bad.
Yeah, no, you call that classical music for the rest of us. Yeah. Oh,
Did you
I need
see
to
They
relax.
Live?
Let's put on the horror.
No, I have not.
They Live is hilarious. If you like bad movies, that movie is like aggressively bad.
Oh,
I
we
don't
lost
know,
John, huh?
Oh, is John gone?
Yep.
Ooh, I'm giving him a ring. They Live is good. I'm not sure it's a horror movie, but it's kind of is, I guess.
I got a whole new opinion on what horror. You know, I think if
Me too, actually.
if I preface myself to approach it like you do, Sana, which is just like to know that it's fucking garbage
It's
straight
supposed
away.
to be garbage. It's like so. I always
But like accept that and be okay with it and be like, this is gonna be garbage. But then
What about when
still
it's
enjoy
good?
it.
What about then? Do you like those?
which one?
Like The Witch? You ever see The Witch?
No,
The Witch is good movie. Very good
Yeah.
movie.
Which? All right, let me look that up.
Came out
There- I
like
mean-
2 or 3 years ago. You ever see The Babadook?
Yes.
No.
Oh my
Yeah.
fucking god!
That's one of the best
That-
ones.
That one is one of the best.
All right, I gotta
Yeah.
write that one down.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm
That
writing it
one
down.
actually did freak me out. Like it honestly did.
My
The-
wife, I went to go see that with my wife, and she will not watch horror movies ever again. After
Ooh,
watching
have
that
you
movie.
watched The Orphanage?
I
that's
did
a
see
good one,
The
too.
Orphanage. That was a good one.
Yes, that was good.
That was a good one.
Wait,
The
you
hide
said
and
the-
seek scene? That was pretty.
Oh my god, that movie
yeah.
freaks me out. Like I watched it twice, and it still freaked me out the second time. Like I could not.
Yeah.
It was so emotional.
I'm gonna go watch a horror movie after we're done doing
I
this.
think I
Holy
might
shit.
too. I was the
Yeah.
same thing.
I feel like I need to recommend something.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got to look through my Netflix list. To
Yeah,
see
we'll
what
have to
I
figure
got.
that out then. I gotta watch
Man, I'll
another
give you
fucking.
guys horror movies to watch.
Yeah.
I
I'm not a fan of
love-
the cheesy ones though. Just
But
personally.
that's the thing. Okay, so there's
She
one
loves
that
cheese.
Okay,
This
so
girl
there's
right
two
here
movies.
loves cheese.
I can
Okay,
tell.
so if
I'm
you
pointing at her right now.
Just in case you don't know who I'm talking about.
Just in case you don't
I
know what
will-
I'm talking about, this woman right here, Sana, loves the cheese.
I love the cheese. I love the good horror. I love the bad horror, and I love the like absolute garbage horror. Like absolute garbage. I'll still watch it. It's like reality TV. Like you just watch these things or junk food. I mean, everyone fucking goes to McDonald's, don't they? Like that franchise is not $1 million thing out of
Billion? Trillion?
billion. There
Who
you go,
knows?
trillion. Who goes?
Fuck it. I know your point is, though. I see what your point is, and it's
It is
ringing
junk
true.
food.
Ringing
It is.
true.
That's all it.
You watch Quantity. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
How many horror movies can I fit in a week?
Would
And
you
how
like this
relaxed
rare
am I?
cooked steak or would you like this pile of loaded French fries?
Oh man, French fries every day.
I think we might have to do the commentary stuff without John.
Oh, that sucks. I know. It doesn't sound like he's coming back.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's coming back.
So
All right, well,
yeah.
let's do commentary. It's
TC, you ever watch commentary tracks?
I have actually watched commentary tracks, but not lately, and I probably should get more into that so that I'm
Would not
apprised.
recommend this one, as I said earlier. It was
What did they
mediocre.
not do?
They didn't talk about anything cool in the movie, really. I got like a couple of things.
So it's just a couple of guys hanging out, chewing gum, as
Yeah.
Seinfeld would say.
And actually, Naomi was walking in and out of the room, and I'll say this while Sana isn't here, that they talked about how cool it was that it was an all-guy cast and crew multiple
Oh yeah,
times.
she'd lose her mind if she knew that.
Yeah. So that pissed me. She's like, seriously? And I'm like, yeah, these guys are kind of dicks, huh?
Yeah, they're Hollywood. It's
Men.
Yeah, men are
Um,
awesome. Women
men are
are
the
just
best.
whatever.
Yeah.
Joke.
John Carpenter learned how to fly a helicopter because of this movie.
Really?
He didn't learn it during it, but like all of the people that were doing stunts in the helicopters, he thought they were
Word.
so cool.
I want to be like them.
Yeah.
You're like,
so he
dude, you're a
learned.
fucking director. You have a major movie in
Yeah.
your hands, and you want to fly a helicopter. All right, bud, let's go.
A lot of the storms were real. They shot in British Columbia, and they had to like shoot based on the weather.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like all this stuff about it being like super windy and hard to fly helicopters in certain points, and the storms and all that stuff were they had to like pick and choose the times. They filmed it all out of order because they had to pick the weather based on like what they needed for the outdoor stuff.
Interesting.
All the indoor stuff was shot at Universal Studios,
That makes sense.
but they built cold
Soundstage.
rooms,
They built what?
40-degree rooms, cold rooms.
Really?
So the rooms were cold. It was
Yeah,
like
where they would
40
just ice it out. Oh man,
Yeah.
that's fucking gnarly.
40 degrees in there when it was 100 degrees outside.
Tight.
Well,
So
at least
they
they could
said
take
it
a break, right?
It's
They
in
could
the
just be like,
valley.
I got to go outside for a smoke break.
Yeah,
Ah.
it's so warm. Yeah,
But you're in a parka. You got to start sweating immediately.
that's true.
Yeah.
Which is
that'd be
good
weird.
because then you go back inside and then the beard freezes and your beard looks good, your hair looks good, you're Kurt Russell. What are you going to do?
you're gonna
But
look
that's
good
the
no matter
funny
what you're
thing.
doing.
Like their wardrobe, if you were in Antarctica, I'd be like, dude, I wear that in California. Like
Sometimes
They
it gets to
seem
60,
so-
you know?
they seemed very underdressed for the Antarctic.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Did.
The burned Norwegian set was a redressed burned American set, if that makes sense. So after they blew up that American set at the end of the movie, they redressed it and shot the first scene there.
Huh. That makes
Pretty
sense.
much. You got it. You got the idea. The
I got
gist,
it. Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I've
All right.
always been curious about being an actor in a film because they never shoot scenes in sequence.
No, well,
So-
not anymore. yeah.
Rarely.
I wonder then they might have done more.
So
than they do
how
now.
did they have context of like, this is the emotion you're supposed to be feeling
The
because
director.
all of this shit just happened to
It's the
you.
director. That's what their job is, to get you
I
in that
guess
zone.
so, but like that's
Well,
a
what
tall
are these guys?
order.
What are these women and men getting paid for? If it's not to be able to get into those
Beard hair.
situations, yeah.
Beard hair.
Solves
Getting paid for the beard
all.
hair.
Hey man, I remember when I was on like an indie set, I was fucking, being myself, audio guy, fucking laughing, blah blah blah, not paying attention. The woman's trying to get in the zone, and she's in there like she's crying, she's like figuring herself out. I'm sitting there like, it's like, oh right, that's what these people do. They like are able to do this. I'm
Yeah.
never able to shut up, and these people are able to like get into the zone. I don't know what it is, so that's what they're getting paid for.
Thinking about dead puppies or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
what they
right.
do.
All right. Who knows where they go in their heads?
Yeah.
To get sad or scared. Fuck if I know.
People got sick throughout the shoot consistently in the refrigerated sets and in the Antarctic, which had to have sucked.
Yeah, I mean all the cold and hot. Yeah.
Another reason they think this movie didn't do well is because this kind of
Despite
came
it
out
being
during.
a horror movie.
Yeah, well, so that E.T. being in the summertime, it not being the right mood for 82, whatever the hell that means, but it was also around the time where AIDS was becoming an epidemic, and the whole idea of like having a thing that is like you can't distinguish it and it's like a monster and it kills people type of thing
Ooh.
was not
Well, that's
something
interesting
people
because
wanted to
I
work with.
watched the video I watched that was showing how the chest monster biting
Thing.
thing was. They were describing that the thing was meant to be representative of anything that you would consider evil, and he specifically said AIDS. Like if it's not AIDS, it's something else. Blah blah blah. And so that's interesting that you point that out. That was such a reason why it flopped.
Yeah,
It was
People didn't wanna
representative
have to
of
deal with
that.
it. Yeah,
Like they didn't want to think about
Yeah,
it.
they don't want to. They don't want to actually, confront that.
too real. And then it's like a gore movie on top of that. And you're like, what the fuck is this supposed to mean? Like it's not supposed to mean anything. It's a gore movie.
And this is where Sana comes in and says this is what it is. This is the point. And then me and you are logical, like, well, it could be an AIDS, and like that's fucked up.
yeah,
Well,
Everyone's
okay,
like,
so
no,
there's a great,
it's a fucking
cool-
movie.
There was a documentary on Netflix that I watched. It was called Red, White, and Horror or something along the line. It was called Red, White, and something.
Okay.
And it had a theory that horror movies kind of come in trends. So right now our trend is zombie movies, right?
Mm.
But back in the day, it used to be atomic lizard, atomic woman, atomic anything. And so each period of time has its horror movie theme.
Mm.
And the theme was representative of what
Godzilla.
yeah, so the idea was that nuclear weapons were becoming a big thing. And so if it went off, what could it create? And so, yeah, Godzilla came into play. And then, like, what would it do if it mutated a spider or a woman or any
Don't say
of these
spider.
things?
It'll make TC shit his pants.
Yeah, exactly. I'm shitting right now.
I'm shitting.
was
shitting.
pretty
It's really
calm.
gross.
It's starting to stink in here because I'm so scared of the spiders.
Gross.
Yeah. See, she smells it. You see what I mean? It's
So-
Yeah, it is gross.
So the documentary goes on to say that today's fear is about mass epidemics. That's why the idea of zombies have
and
like
28
caught
days
on.
later.
Yeah. And so it's this idea that something that started off small becomes a global epidemic because of travel.
Everyone dies.
Yes, pretty
We're
much.
fucked.
But it's only because we're a globalized society at this
Oh,
point.
here we go.
Yeah.
But it was a fascinating documentary because they went through the 60s. What were people afraid of in the 60s? What were they afraid of in the 80s? What were they
Hippies.
afraid of in the 90s?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like it was awesome to
Crack.
watch all these themes kind of come together, and like whether you buy into it or not, it is
Space
fascinating.
leprechauns, right? 90s?
Yeah. 90s leprechauns. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, be afraid of your dreams because Freddy's
that
gonna
it?
get you.
Oh, which
Ooh,
one's
that was a
oh,
good one.
Freddy. Fuck. Freddy
Freddy.
Krueger. God, fuck that.
Don't go to sleep. Got to get on with coke.
I don't want that guy anywhere near me.
Speaking of this movie, though, they don't sleep for 3 days, yet they're all drinking. That's a bad idea. That'll put you to sleep
There's
faster.
no way they stay up that long if they're all boozed out.
Yeah, and they're drinking hard alcohol straight from the bottle.
I don't
They're
know.
going
Have
to be
you
real
guys
tired.
actually been on 100% adrenaline?
I don't know. I guess if something was growing out of people's skin, might make you stay up for a bit.
Surviving in these types of situations would be a lot easier if humans didn't have the really big flaw of having to eat so frequently. It's so annoying how frequently we have to eat.
I think you'd ignore it if your adrenaline was pumping.
Well,
all the
yeah,
time.
because it's fight or flight.
Hide.
Yeah.
It's fight or flight. You stop wanting to eat. You probably have dirty draws, but
Ooh, dirty draws.
And that'll really put you off the food for a little while.
That'll put you somewhere.
No, I'm just thinking, like, in all these situations, I'd be like, well, if I had like 4 cans of beans, I could at least dig a hole and just go sit in the hole for a while, cover the hole up with like a blanket, and just sit there with my cans of beans, and I'll be okay for a few
you
days.
guys are overthinking this movie like crazy. Oh my God. Your life
Welcome
is at
to our
stake.
life.
Your
Welcome to
life
our
is
life.
at stake. What do you think about?
And I'd be in the hole for 4
True.
hours, and then
No,
I'd start
you
getting
don't think
hungry, and I'd be
about
like,
food.
oh, it's bean time. But then I'd be like, shit, I didn't get a can opener. And then I'd go get a can opener, I'd get eaten by the friggin' thing.
Yeah, and I'd be like, I need booze, I need food. The thing would be right
This
behind
is
me, it'd be killing me.
This is enlightening to me in terms of I understand why people don't like horror.
Yeah, because we don't.
You're applying
Way too much logic.
Yeah. It's not about
We're too
that.
logical for this
It's
shit.
like this is philosophical crap we're talking about.
Yeah, this
I
is
think
why.
that's why so this movie is better than most horror because you can think about it somewhat realistically.
Yeah,
who
there are
watched
parts.
Who watched it? The most
I
recent
haven't
one.
yet.
Loved it.
Chapter
Loved it.
Chapter 1. It was beautiful, right? But like,
Yeah.
when did you watch those kids eat? When did you watch those kids go to sleep? Like, it is not about their lifestyles. It is about the things that they were struggling
No,
with.
I think we, as the audience, we're supposed to assume that they ate at some point. That's not what
Exactly.
we're looking at. Yeah.
But this
It's-
movie's so linear, you know?
Yeah, but
That's
you also
true.
don't see characters all the time, 100% of the scene.
But we do
Let's
get to see them
assume
drink because we get product placement from the Jim Beam or the
yeah.
Jack Daniels.
that and Chevron was all over the beginning.
Oh,
I
were
noticed
they?
that
Hey,
the
Chevy
fifth or
Chevs.
sixth time I watched this. In the beginning scenes when the dog is running, you'll notice that it's running towards his barrel of
Chevron.
gas because they use the gas to then ignite whatever the hell they
Right,
ignite.
right,
but it's like,
right,
I bet they didn't need permission from any of those companies back then.
I love how much fire there is.
I
in
bet
this
they
movie.
did because they needed
Yeah.
the money to pay for the special effects.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
maybe.
probably did. Yeah.
Yeah. There was one funny quote in the commentary where he's like, we did a cheap trick. We threw a dog at him. When he opens up, the dog wrangler opens up the door.
Oh, they actually threw a
There's
dog
a guy
at
behind
him?
it that throws a dog at him.
That's funny.
Aw.
Yeah.
catch the
You know,
actor off
okay,
guard.
Funny thing
Yeah.
about animals and movies, they basically PETA stepped in Arachnophobia was made with William
I
Shatner.
hate that fucking movie too.
Oh yeah, freaked
Spiders.
me out. But
Fuck.
I read some trivia
I just got
later
like
where
a fucking tingle on my neck. Fuck.
there's this scene where the spiders take over the city, and you'll watch like these kids kind of stomping on these black hairy spiders, and these other you just see them being covered in them. And you're horrified because A, they're being killed, and they're also covering these humans. I'm also not a huge fan of spiders, but apparently that movie sparked PETA to say that Hollywood cannot abuse animals that way because those spiders were actually stomped on. And
They were real spiders?
yes, they were real spiders.
Wait. You're telling me I got this role. I got money coming in. They're like, no, you're going to have to get covered in spiders.
Well, I
I quit.
don't know how
I quit.
Fear
much-
factor.
No, I quit.
If you're a background actor and you
I'm
got
done.
nothing, you got nothing.
Bye. I leave. Bye. 50
I'd rather
bucks
be covered in
50
spiders
bucks
than
and
have
a
to
free
hold
meal
real
isn't worth
dynamite.
it. Yeah, fuck that.
That's right.
I wouldn't. I'd rather hold dynamite. Fine.
Or use a real
Far none.
flamethrower. These flamethrowers were real.
I would have loved to hold the flamethrower. I'm definitely not going with the spider.
I can't believe they had a
that.
flamethrower. What was the purpose of them having a flamethrower up there?
Just because it's awesome.
yeah, but what were they doing?
want
Is
one.
science. What kind of
How
scientists
do you get a
need
flame-
flamethrowers?
Flamethrower?
Well, the idea was that ice was preserving the bacteria / alien.
Right.
So if you froze it, it was just going to come back later. But if
But why
you
did they have
fried
that
it,
the flamethrower in the first place? They didn't know about the alien.
that is very true. But you,
True.
again, are trying to bring logic to a horror movie,
But you might
which is
find
not
remains
the
that
point.
you need to melt
Fair.
quickly, right? You might need them. You might need a
Yeah.
flamethrower out there. You never know. Might need to
Maybe
warm the
doors
place
get
up.
Dynamite.
iced up.
Yeah. You might need dynamite to warm it up. It's freezing. I don't know.
Oh, so if you wanted to go that route, we don't actually know what Outpost 51 was for.
Yeah.
True. Why were they,
They
even
don't say
They
there?
it.
don't really say what their purpose. They could have been military.
They're just investigating the ice,
They were trying to keep foreign entities off their land.
which is why they were provided with flamethrowers. Hey, I got it right that time.
I got one piece
You
of
get to
trivia,
own
guys.
one
What do you
now.
got? What do you got? What do you got?
I got one piece of trivia. All the needle shots, there were 3 of them, 2 or 3 of them in this movie. They're all real, and they're all done by the camera operator.
What?
The camera operator volunteered.
Oh,
And he
I
said,
got this,
like,
guys.
No,
I've
he's
been
like,
living for
I can do this all day, is
Oh,
what he said.
I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting
Yeah.
to just prick
Prick
people with
these
needles.
assholes.
Yeah,
No,
Prick
he was
these
the one
pricks.
taking
yeah.
it.
Prick these pricks. Oh, he's the one getting it.
He was the one getting it. He volunteered
the
and
one
he
getting
liked
it.
it seemed.
Ooh,
Yeah.
he's a masochist.
So I have a question for you. Both of you. Would you put this movie on the top 250 movies of all time list?
yes.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know if John would.
Anyone?
John. We lost John.
We lost
Sad.
John,
We'll have to figure it
unfortunately.
out.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
do we have any more thoughts on this movie?
yeah, I'll put it in the top 250.
Well, in terms of the IMDb
Timmy says yes.
ratings, I have always said that if IMDb users hate a horror movie, I'm probably going to watch it. So if it's 4 and
So
below,
it's
I'm
the
going to go
opposite.
watch it. Because that's the
Oh.
thing, right? But like IMDb users are not horror centric. So
Or
if there's
just
a
or
rating,
anything that's worth it. Centric.
oh damn!
Fucking.
If there was a rating system that allowed users to see, like, oh, the person who rated this movie also rated this movie, etc.,
That's true. Yeah. I
then
mean, that's
you'd
what
be
real
able
critics
to
are for, right?
know, right? But even the critics back in the day when the thing came out were hating on it. Like, so I don't believe in critics either. But I do believe in like people who have a niche.
Like, you don't believe in
following.
them like they don't exist? Is that
No,
what you're
I don't believe they
saying?
exist.
I don't
but
believe
she doesn't
their
believe in them as
opinions.
people.
They're like unicorns and
As in their
the
jobs
Yeti?
are garbage. They shouldn't be paid to do what they do.
Tell us how
Because-
you really feel, Sana.
Because I mean, there's yet to be a movie critic like for horror movies or any other movie that I'm like, yeah, you know what, that guy was on point, or
Yeah.
that gal was on point. So all
I
I'm saying
don't know where
is, I
she's
would
going
like
with this.
to. All I'd like to see is a niche rating. That's
We're
it.
on the ride,
Yeah,
TC.
well,
We're
you've
on the
got
ride.
it. You've got it on the podcast on the Mission 250 Filmcast because we got a niche rating. All right.
And I got Aunt John's answer. He texted me.
Oh yeah. What did he
He
say?
says a close no.
A close no, but yes.
I didn't get to
Close
convince
no, but
him. That's
a
the
hard
problem.
yes.
He got cut out for like
Yeah.
half the thing.
No,
I didn't
no,
get
but
to,
a close
I didn't
no
get rid of
means that you said yes. It infers you mean yes. So
No, it
it's a
means
yes.
no.
Wait, what? How
He
could
said
you have a
it's a
close,
close
no?
no.
A close,
Close.
no would be that you mean yes.
A no, but it's close.
Wait,
He
is
was
it
on the
close to
fence,
no or
but
it's
he
close to
swung
yes?
to no.
It's close to yes.
Oh, what? A close no to me means yes.
Does it?
Yeah, because it's a close no. So if it's close to no, what would it be then?
But it's not close to
Yes.
no. It is a no, but it's close. No?
I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever.
I don't
You
either.
can interpret that
I'm
as you
saying
please.
yes. John says yes. It's fun.
It's fine. Sana, do you have any more thoughts on this movie?
I don't have any more. Do you have
I
any more?
I think people need to relax on horror movie genre. It's not meant to be logical. It's not meant to make sense. It's meant to be fun. To find the horror movie that's good for you.
I like
All right.
that.
Well put. I'll take
Yeah.
that. Yeah, she's right. Per usual.
Oh, now
Sonny,
you're recorded
you can watch
for
this-
life on that one.
You're gonna play that one back, aren't you? We'll be at a friends get together soon. She'll be fucking let me in on that one. Laying into me on that one. Anyway, I think it's a good one. Thank you all for listening. Right?
Well,
Benny?
thank you for having me.
TC, next week.
What up?
Sonny, you can watch this too if you want to. I've never heard of this movie before, TC, ever.
Oh, good. Me and
It's
you are on the
called-
same boat.
Come and See.
Never heard of it.
Not heard of it.
1985,
Okay.
directed by Elim Klimov.
Who?
I don't know. After finding an old rifle, a young boy joins the Soviet resistance movement against ruthless German forces and experiences the horrors of World War II.
Oh shit.
Did you say horror?
Yeah. Oh, World War II. So this is like a Russian movie that's got German story.
German,
That's interesting.
Soviets. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's on YouTube for free because you can't get it anywhere else.
Because no
So,
one else is selling it because the
Yeah.
movie doesn't exist except for
Yes.
IMDb users. All right. Copy.
doesn't exist. Yeah.
I'm just going to dig at them all day.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Fair
I think
enough.
thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on this episode.
Yeah. Thanks,
Thank
Sana.
you.
Appreciate it.
No, this is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. So our website is mission250filmcast.com. All the old episodes are there. Like and rate us on your favorite podcast app or whatever. We're on Twitter and Facebook, and that's about it.
That's it.
Yes. All right. Oh. And
See you
John,
later, folks.
we'll say goodbye to John later.
Bye, John.